Yeah, son. There's mad kids out there getting cream for the 9-5, bro. Yeah, and I've been doing this for a long time. You know, shoot the game, going for mine. Alright. And this is a year when mad cats get peeled. So I'ma spark this line, kick the reel. Bang him out. With all this chaos in the realms of the street, your local street dog got to make ends meet. The average Joe's far too slow for this ghetto bro. You better know, when I hit the streets, I like to glow, I like to glisten. And at the same time, stay low, listen, motherfucker fame. Why I'm pursuing the dope. My stilo is symbolic to a kilo. Cash is popping, coke is cooking, beats copping. Ain't that some shit? A player that used to live in riches, now a sticky kid. Caught up in a ditch. In 94, Giuliani kicked down the door. In 95, niggas flipped to stay alive. Peeling caps while I laugh. In the stats and four and a half. Remy in the glass, spark the boom, then I flash. They wanna confine me, sneak up from behind me. Bust a cap in my back and put me where they can't find me. They hate to see a young player pay. I don't wanna see that. They rather see him spray. But I'm like Diddy, a Terminator, squeeze the lead off. Using verbs and nouns like rounds to blow your head off. Hitting up spots, heating up blocks. Investing in stocks like Colombian blow crops. I'm out to get the cream and ain't no doubt in my mind. Fuck this broke shit, I'm hit, I get down for mine. I get down for mine. I get down for this. I get down for hands on the regular shit. I get down for I hear you wanna be a player. I ain't some place you bet. Let's play a game of real nigga roulette. With this a DOA as I spray the melee. Contact and punctuation is compared to AK. You in a daze. Overdose for pure funk. I'm fucking off like Tommy Gibb. McCarver's a boot smoke. Decapitated rappers in my trunk. I'm sick, pumping skunk, bouncing with my click, popping mega jump. I'm getting back while these clowns be zigzagging. When you talk about plenty keys, come on, you're nickel bagging. I'm blasting off wings and making doubters believe it. You see, I was packing heaters when jokers was banging cheerleaders. Ain't nothing changed, it's still the same in the rap game. I'm known for banging rookies out the frame. Y'all done forgot who was the pimp from the start. Sipping vintage wine, eating a la carte. I'm phenomenal from the abdominal. Far from comical lyrics and sticking the brains like particles. Never sleep. I'm bringing the drama to the street with techniques and rolling in fleets. Ain't nothing sweet about the street, so I'm poetically ill. I'm pure like cook up and lyrics sound like fish scale. I got the banger at your throat and you ain't showing no signs. Can't death, let them know I get down for mine. I get down for mine. I get down for mine. I get down for All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this late edition of Gangsta Talk. I am Maximum Black, aka the Black Knight. How's everybody doing? Before we get started, want to make sure we got good audio. I am riding through the mountains right now. So somebody hit a 1 in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. My co-host, Dame, she's behind the scenes. Dane, let me know if that audio is coming through right. All right. I can't see the chat right now. Let me know if they can hear me in the chat. Okay, I'm not sure where my co-host went. All right.
I'm just checking audio through my phone. You coming through fine.
All right, look at the chat. Any ones in the chat? I want to make sure they can hear me before I get started.
Maintaining. You got a thumbs up. Yes, we can.
All right. Let's get on into it, people.
You know, there's always a method to my madness. You guys should know me by now. Title is Ninjas Is You Crazy? I said ninjas because, you know, I'm trying to refrain from using the N word. Okay, so we want to talk about some serious manipulation that's going on. And I'm going to hip your sisters to some game. All right, because some of you are getting caught up in some really simplistic game that brothers used to run back in high school. Basically, the game is a game teenage boys used to use as manipulation against teenage girls. And what it's been now, it's been dressed up to look like something else, but it's really the same thing. And understand, these man or queer dudes, they think like teenage boys. Never mind the suits, never mind the grown man voices, never mind the fact that they're 40, 50, never mind all of that. They think like oversexed, sexually deprived teenage boys. That's why they have this kind of manipulation going on with women. So let me explain. Recently, a video went viral, okay, from one of these manosphere dudes, where he's talking down to a black woman. First of all, to me, the video is suspect. I don't know what black woman will sit there and let you talk to her like that. I ain't never, you couldn't even talk to a black woman like that if she was drunk. I mean, that kind of disrespect would make her go sober real quick. And so when I'm watching the woman and the way he was talking with these vicious insults, I'm looking at her demeanor. She never got emotional. She kind of cracked a smile. Never once did her mood change. And I'm like, okay, something don't seem real to me. All right, it just sounds suspect to me. I mean, talking to a black woman like that, in that manner, and there is no emotional reaction whatsoever, I've never seen anything like that. And if that was real, I'm trying to figure out what kind of black woman that was. Where you get these kind of black women from? I've never seen these kind of black women. But anyway, excuse me. Anyway, so let's get into the game. All right, back in the day in high school, we had this game, right, to where we used to manipulate a lot of girls. We had a number system in which we rated their beauty and their behavior. Scale from 1 to 10. You know, you was a 10, you was high octane and all this other shit. You know, if you was an 8, you were above average and da 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 da. You know, okay. And so a lot of the brothers back then were football jocks, and you know, they were musically inclined and stuff like that. But back then, the black girls had high standards because there was a lot of parents in the home back then. So the parents raised their girls well, and there was a lot of high standards. So it was hard to break through those standards. Okay, you couldn't just run down on a girl and say crazy shit. Okay, that didn't fly back then. You had to because she had high standards. So what they did was they created a system, you know, basically like a car system, right? And they added numbers to it from 1 to 10. So they would rate this girl from 1 all the way up to 10. And they would put it out there, and then the girls, they hear about it, and then they want to get involved in it. And see, this is where you go wrong. When you get involved in it, what you have to understand is the guys, they control the narrative. They control the content once you get involved in this numbers game. They control all of the content. And so you're pretty much helpless against their manipulation. Once you start thinking in the realm of you're a 10, you're an 8, you're a 7, you're a 5 or whatever, they got you. Now they can manipulate the hell out of you. Now they can take your high esteem, knock it down, and use it against you. Simply because you've already bought into that system, right? And I'm hearing Women now talking about their 5s, their 4s, their 6, 7s, and all this other crap. Okay? This is high school manipulation. This is what we did back in high school. This is not something a grown woman today should be falling for. Now, granted, they're good at it, okay? They've added some things to it. They add a new look to it. They're wearing suits now. They are extremely articulate, all right? And so they've done a good job in making you think that they're saying something to you that's extremely intellectual, and they're giving you advice that you should listen to, okay? Again, it's all manipulation. And then once they get you into this system and you start buying into your number, a lot of these guys are beat, awkward, can't get a girl. So one of the ways that they get girls is that they try to knock down your self-esteem to make you feel less than, so that they can have a crack at you, right? So, and this is something that they wouldn't normally have. You wouldn't normally pay these guys any attention in the grand scheme of things, right? You wouldn't normally pay these guys any attention. So what they have to do is they have to make up ground, right? So they get you into this number system and you think that you're a 7 or an 8. They'll say some stuff like, oh, no, you look like a 5 or a 6. I can't tell you a 5 or 6. If you was a 7 or 8, how come guys ain't checking for you? How come you by yourself? See, all of this is a part of the manipulation. And they're very good at manipulating you, because you start to believe that there's something wrong with you after they get finished talking to you for a while. You actually start to believe that there's something wrong with you. That's the whole gist of the matter. They want you to believe something is wrong with you so they can make you work against yourself for their benefit. That's the whole part of getting involved in this 9, 10, high octane, low octane, high school crap. Okay? And a lot of women are falling for it because you have some women who think that they don't have any value. And the reason why this is a high school thing, because it worked on high school girls. They brought it up to the point now to where it's working on grown women. Okay, this is an old high school trick. And we used it for high school girls. So understand why it worked back in high school. Because the mentality of high school girls was not the mentality of a grown woman, right? So it worked on high school girls. Now they've taken it and they've added to it, all right? And they dressed it up, gave it like a business look with some serious manipulation behind it. And now it's working on grown women. But basically, it's just a high school concept that boys used to do to trick girls into going out on dates with them, even when they weren't up to par. You know, you start talking to a girl and be like, well, you know, I'm used to running around with 6 and 7s. You look like a 5. I'm higher than a 5. I'm an 8 or a 9. I can't tell. You ain't there. If you were 8 or a 9, I would have dated you already. You know? And you see, and back then it was very easy to manipulate little girls, because once they get upset, they would become aggressive, and then they want to prove you wrong. So this made the manipulation extremely easy. Okay. Okay. Sound check. Dane, am I still coming through? Hit a 1 in the chat if you guys can still hear me.
Still coming through.
Okay. And so this made the manipulation real easy. Now, what's going on with these women today and what these guys are doing is just no different than what they did in high school. They dressed it up a little bit. And I'm not surprised that these guys would use this kind of manipulation because, again, they think like high school teenage boys. Always have sex on the mind, right? Now, a lot of them are gay, and a lot of guys don't like it. a lot of gay guys don't like women. So they study what women do, right? And then they find ways to belittle what you do or give what you do a negative category or a negative name in a negative category. Tell you that you are a 30-year-old baby mama and make you feel like you're worth nothing because you're 30 years old and you have a child. See, all this is a part of the manipulation. And then what this does is it lowers your standards and make it easy for guys who are irresponsible, guys who aren't worth the goddamn two nickels to rub together. They can court you. They can date you, which is going to get you even in the more of a world of hurt. That's why they do this. They're trying to knock you down to their level or even beneath them so that they can have their cake and eat it too. They don't have to be responsible because you don't think much of yourself. They can do whatever they want. You can be a beautiful woman, all right? And they can walk around with you as eye candy because you don't believe that you're worth anything. And if you listen to these guys talk, they're constantly attacking the woman verbally. They're constantly trying to attack the woman's psychological state of mind. They're constantly trying to attack her emotions to make you think that you're not worth anything. This is why they say things like, you're overweight. They emphasize being overweight. They try to shame you for being overweight. They shame you for being a baby mama. Okay, all of this shaming to make you think that you're not worth anything. And quiet is kept. The same woman that he's saying is overweight is the one that he would be with in a heartbeat. Understand, these guys don't have any women. These guys can't get any women. That's why they resort to these kinds of tactics. And that's why I'm exposing this system. This is a teenage high school boy system. We did this stuff back in high school, right, to trick teenage girls into going out on dates with us. They've taken it to another level, but it's the same concept. You're being manipulated by some teenage boy shit. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why they do this, because they don't want to have to compete for a woman. This is why they're always telling you, you need to compete. And then they give you this fictitious male, right, that doesn't really exist. Or they create a male and give this male all kinds of accolades. They give this male all kinds of false power when he's really being manipulated under someone else. But they do a good job of covering that up. They make you think that this fictitious male that they created is a boss, and he's not. And so now you think that this is the premier male that all of the women want, because the only people who are talking about these males are them. You don't see other women talking about these high-value males unless they're saying something negative. But understand something, keep in mind, they are the only ones pushing this fictitious male. And what I mean by fictitious, they're saying that 6 figures, you made it. No, you haven't, depending on where you live. And 6 figures today is really nothing. It's easy to make 6 figures. I make 6 figures. I drive a truck. Okay, so 6 figures is just something hard to obtain. The average guy, if he applied himself, can make 6 figures and more than that. And so this is their selling point, right? And they build this male up. So now you think this super male is walking around, high value male. He's got this big cape, right? With a HVM on his chest, high value male. And you think that this is the man you need to be going after. You think this is the premier male. So they're already manipulating you into thinking that this is the male that you should be going after. The same way we did back in high school. We would make the girls think that this guy and that guy who was a 10, right, was the guy that she should be going after. So they're doing the same thing. And so now you're thinking that this is where it is because you want to be in the know. You want to be popular. You want to be the woman walking around with one of these males. And really, these males don't exist. Not the ones they're talking about. And none of those guys can't even keep on. This is why they always tell you, right? This is why you always hear later on that they're not married. They don't have a girlfriend. They're beating the women off with a stick. They don't have any women. That's why they're always on these social media platforms together. Because they're trying to comfort each other. They don't have any women. They don't have girlfriends. They don't have wives. Okay? Even the ones who did have one at some point don't have one now. And it's obvious at this point why. That's why you see them with 5, 6, 7, 8 dudes on a panel, all trying to comfort each other, trying to encourage each other by using the word hoe. You see, if you use the word hoe over there, that encourages the other brothers. See, this is a sad case of weak males. I mean, these are
Okay, Max, you borked out on us. Okay, yeah. So we're thinking the lack of reaction by the woman because the stuff he's saying was cold, should have made her mad as hell, or at least defending herself more. But no, totally calm. She's taking it. She ain't defending herself, or anything. She's calm, or her defense is weak. You know, or and she don't come at him. Don't who you think you are. You and all that. So it's like, okay, maybe this is a setup. Maybe he's paying these women to come on his channel. Well, my answer to that highly favored. He said he was a 41-year-old and was beating 20-year-olds off him because they want him so bad. I'm thinking either they're ugly and he can't attract anything but ugly 20-year-olds, or maybe they were fat or something like that. Not that I'm fat shaming, but I don't think he's really beating 20-year-olds off like he's talking about. Yeah. Or maybe they know he's gonna pay for it. Maybe that's why he got to beat them off. He don't have enough money for all of them. So he's like, no, I'm not interested. No, I got a woman. What woman? We don't see you with no woman. And I thought he was 50. Maybe she didn't want to be seen as the angry black woman. That stupid stigma. Yeah, there's always that possibility. Yeah, but that means he got into her head too, or the management. Unfortunately, they get into our head and they got us to the point where we suppressing our natural emotion because we don't want to be seen as the angry black woman. We don't want to be seen as ratchet, and all kind of other manipulations. That means they got into our heads. As far as I'm concerned, we angry for a reason. We don't just be angry just to be angry. And that stuff he was saying was enough to make some woman angry, or at least
I'm sorry, but
irritated. Oh, okay.
I'm back, y'all. I'm sorry about that. I fell off. What's the last thing you guys heard?
The last thing, the last thing we heard, was the okay. I went off into my own little thing. The manipulation.
Yes, this is high school manipulation.
Hmm.
And I want you ladies to understand that this is an old trick. And I got some of my old dogs in here, like a Sam Burton. Okay, he'll tell you. This is the tricks that we used to pull on high school girls. High school girls back in the day. That number system, that 1 to 10 number system, it worked perfectly on high school girls. Okay, she's 10, she's an octane, she's 9, she's this, she's that. And the girls got manipulated into that because they thought that this meant a lot to the guys. You see, whatever means a lot to the women, whatever means a lot to the guys, the women get interested in it. And they hang around and they listen and they see what's really important to us. And then they go and then they come, they jump in and try to become a part of it. Well, when we was running around with these systems, talking about this, and that, the women caught wind of that and said, okay, well, this is what these guys like. Let me get involved. I think I'm a 6. I think and that's where you mess up at. As soon as you get into all of that, you're just asking for a lot of trouble because now they can manipulate you. Okay? Because they control the narrative. They control what's being said. Hold on 1 second here. I'm sorry, go ahead. They control what's being, hold on. Is this, what the hell? Okay. Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, and then they control what's being said. And that's exactly what they want. They want you to start thinking that way. Because then they can talk to you like you're crazy. They can say all kinds of crazy things about you and get away with it. I'm sorry, I gotta go on mute for a second, y'all.
Okay. A few minutes is for entertainment. Yeah, it could start off as entertainment, but it'll start getting into your head. You be like, first you start, I'm not like this. He's not talking about me. He must be talking about them, or or um or the idea of the 6 figure dude down here. Yeah, 6 figure dude be looking good, but I'm understanding that in other states and stuff like that, that ain't nothing. Um, Yeah, so get in your head about that and what you got to do and want to obtain a 6 figure dude or a high quality male and every time I'm listening, I'm like, okay, why is all his qualities about a lot of money? Because in my state, 6 figure, whether it's the low end or the high end of the 6 figure, it's a lot. And I was like, okay, dudes, I know that I think are good quality. They don't necessarily make 6 figures, but they comfortable. Nice. And stuff like that. And so why is they fixated on that? I said, what about the other qualities? What about all these other things that's going for 'em? But no, you notice that the constant is back to the 6 figure, 6 figure, high quality, and they don't define it enough. And when they do, it's back to the 6 figure. When somebody brings up, and they do sometimes say, the males that make a comfortable living, but they don't stick to it. They go right back to the 6 figure dude. Because as I said, that's some magical man they made. Superman, as Max said. But the comfortable dude is obtainable, and sometimes his mindset is not like these dudes. Most of the time, he ain't on YouTube. He's busy working. If he is, he thinks these dudes are nuts, are gay, are crazy. or something's wrong with them, or they're not too smart, or they young, or they got some mental issues. I have no idea. I think he thinks he's setting a scene, being dramatic. You know, that's a little suspect. You know, men ain't worrying about no scene set up. Shoots, I be trying to set things up just right, make sure I got everything up, and Max would be like, "Come on, let's just jump into it." It's like, okay, what's taking you so long? It's like that. He's sickening. Women are talking bad about him on Facebook. Really? Okay. Okay. So, but when you read the chat, you be thinking, who are these women? Why are there so many women listening to him? You know, you know, and it's like, is it something wrong with me? Am I not getting it? Some stuff sound good, but there's a lot of stuff. Why is he talking to women like that? Why is he dragging it down? Because I remember there's been a couple of women, they doing well for themselves. They're single mother. They brought themselves through school while they had a child and working, and they are in they they in their profession that they train for, and they get a nice salary, and yet he's fixated on, okay, she's a single mother, so it's finished, or she's overeducated, or she makes too much money. He finds all kind of way to drag her down, or she's too fat. Notice the emphasis on the dress size and how tall he is and all that other stuff. Yeah, I know, you're not talking about her health. It's the way she looks, which I know can attract men, but there are men who are just as attracted to the generous curves. You know, you need to find one that's attracted to generous curve, while making sure you a healthy, a healthy shape, size. Uh huh. Yeah, but when you're supposed to be losing weight, it's mainly for you to be healthy. You know, think about that. Don't go in there thinking about attracting a guy. If you concentrate on you, the guy's gonna come. Shooks. Most of the time they come when you're not ready. You busy trying to get yourself together, and they pop up. Some good, some bad. Some of you gotta beat them off with a stick. I know that was his phrase. But a lot of the ones you gotta beat off with a stick are the ones you ain't interested in. They're not understanding. They don't get no for an answer. You even tell them you're not attracted to them. It don't sink in. So you gotta get mean and beat them up. So that makes me wonder about his beating off 20-year-olds with a stick. Okay, Michaela. Wow, young women need to stay away from channels like that. I'm 20, and I would never subscribe to these manosphere guys. Okay, yeah, and I bet you a lot of
Okay.
them. Mhm.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm back. I'm just having some trouble.
Mhm.
Yes, let me finish up. So like I was saying, so these guys are taking a system that we used in high school to bag high school girls. We used to trick high school girls into going out with us. The guys used this effectively when you had a high powered girl and he was a low level dude. Get her trapped into this number conversation about her looks and her behavior, and then you can reduce the number, which will make her aggressive into wanting to prove you wrong. It was just a manipulation, and it worked well on high school. Again, high school girls. It shouldn't be working on grown women. But I get that they changed a few things about it. They dressed it up. They added a few things to it. But it's still pretty much the same thing. They just dress it up to make it look like it's all intellectual and it has all these bells and whistles. but at the core, it's the same thing. It's high school manipulation. See, they don't think much of black women any other way. Many of them think that black women have the mind of a child. I've heard them say this several times, that black women are like children. So they don't have much respect for your mentality anyway. So I'm not surprised that they would take this approach to try to manipulate women into being with them. And then some of these guys are so broken that they just get the satisfaction out of degrading women. And again, when I looked at that video, I'm gonna be honest with you, it looked fake to me. I don't know how you talk to a black woman like that and she doesn't get upset. She shows no emotion. That doesn't that sound fishy to me. I don't know what kind of black woman that is. I've never seen a black woman. You talking crazy to a black woman like that in her face, and there's no emotion. She don't cuss you out. She don't say one thing. She don't argue back. She didn't even argue back. She didn't say anything. I'm like, okay, this doesn't appear to be real to me. All right, so yeah, those tactics work, but they worked back in high school, but they shouldn't be working now. That's my whole claim to this. And this guy's getting away with making you think he's something that he's not. Like he's just super intelligent, super dressed, all this other stuff, right? But behind their game, it's just nothing but a high school mentality. All right? They just got you thinking that it's bigger than what it really is. They got you thinking that this is what men go around thinking. We think we put women in this number system. Man, after high school, you stop thinking like that. All right? You start seeing women for the real value, and you stop playing games like that. You don't do that no more. That's something that I expect teenage boys, like the boys that I mentor, right? If they're having a conversation, I expect them to have that kind of conversation. Oh man, she's a 6. She's a 7. Oh, she's an 8. She's a 9. Whoa, man, she's smoking. She's a 10.5. That's what you expect from anywhere from 14 to 19 years old, 20 years old, maybe even into 25. Okay? But that's not a conversation you would expect from grown, distinguished men of integrity. We don't have them conversations. We know better than that. Okay? But they've taken that high school stuff and they dressed it up. They've added in high value. They've added in imagery. Okay? They added in some fancy rhetoric, some better articulation. But it's the same concept. All right? And women and black women need to stop falling for it. Because it's just, the only purpose it serves is to, well, now they're using it to degrade women. See, back then we didn't do that. We did it to get dates. We tried to shame the woman into going out on a date with us if we wasn't up to par. Because she was so beautiful and she was high powered. We wanted to date her anyway. So we used this system to try to knock her down a peg or two to our level so that we were comfortable enough of asking her out on a date. That's what we used it for. But now they're using it for purposes to hurt women, to embarrass women. They done took it to another level. Okay. And again, you have to ask yourself this, right? Riddle yourself this. Where are the women that these guys are supposed to be with? Where are the women? Many of them talking about they married, but I can't tell. A married man will not talk like that. So, and then they turn around and say, well, they're divorced. I'm not surprised. I will go so far as to say you were never married in the first place. If you think like that, and you treat a woman like that, I highly doubt you're going to end up with one. A prostitute wouldn't even stay with you. Okay? Even if you tried to pay her, she would give you your money back. So understand, these guys are very desperate. They're older men that women don't want anymore, or probably never wanted. They're trying to hold on to their youth. They're talking big game that they can't back up. These guys are 50 years old, 40, trying to deal with women half their age to try to prove that they still got it and all this other nonsense because they can't deal with mature women. This is why they only talk to these young women. And if you do see an older woman that they're talking to, she has a lot of things that they can shame her about. But usually they go after these young women. What did I just say to y'all, right? That this system is designed to do what? Trick high school girls. That's why they go after the younger girls. That's why you see them talking to younger girls. It's easier to manipulate them with this garbage. That's what the system was built for, that number system, for young girls with a young mentality. And he looks, you know, then they bully these girls with this system. They bully these girls. They're not going to talk to no established woman, a distinguished woman who got her head screwed on straight, who know what time it is. You're not going to see that. Because this kind of shit don't work on those women. It only works on the very young girls. That's why you see them up there with these girls are 20, 22, barely out of their teenage years, 20 years old. Because that's what that system fits. That's the mentality that system fits. You're not going to see no real grown woman on that over there. They can't handle that. Hold on 1 second here. Let me read the chat. Yeah, tell them that they hit the wall. What wall? What wall? What wall? Hit what wall?
Yeah. Malika said earlier that the reason probably why she didn't respond or get angry, she didn't want to be labeled as the angry black woman.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, right? This angry black woman myth, right? That they talk about. You know, I don't know what that is. I don't run into angry black women. If you're talking about, you know, people having a bad day or somebody having a scowl on their face for the day or whatever, that's everybody. That's everybody. I come across, I drive across country. I see a lot of black women, especially in the Southeast. I don't get treated. I don't see these. I fail to see these angry black women that they're talking. Where's these angry black women? Are they talking about feminists? You know, the extreme feminists who hate men? Well, if that's what they're talking about, then that's a minority. That's not all black women, because I don't see this so-called angry black. You see, they're trying to make you be something that you're not, so they can gain an upper hand on you. And that's why you have to stop falling into this, okay, and see it for what it really is. Again, the video looked very suspect to me. I don't know how you talk to a black woman like that without her snapping on you. I've never seen that. Okay? But for some reason, he talking crazy to these women, and they aren't doing anything. They aren't even responding. They're not getting emotional or anything. Where have you seen that at? I've never seen nothing like that. That's why this shit looks suspect to me. I'm like, what the hell is this? This is looks fake. I don't know, man. I don't think she looked timid. I think that she may have been paid to I think she may have been paid to act that way. I'm not saying she was. I'm just giving you my opinion. It looks like she was an actor. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like she was acting. Because, again, the kind of stuff old boy was talking about and the way he was saying it, I don't know any black woman that's going to keep their cool. It's just not going to happen. Okay? That's not happening. And what is this hit the wall nonsense? What do you mean? What is this wall? What is this wall supposed to be? What are you saying that a black woman goes to a certain point and then she's no longer seen by viewed as anything viewed valuable to men or whatever? That's not true. Man, you got 60-year-old women out here winning. No, I disagree with that. I don't think a lot of black men care about black women in an unhealthy manner. To say something like that was to say that you know we don't care about them at all. We have to care about them. Who else gonna care about our women? White men don't care about our women. Hispanic men don't care about our women. What do you mean uncare in an unhealthy manner? What is that? What does that even mean? I don't understand how it's unhealthy if you want to see your women, right, in good health. You want to see them in good mental health, good emotional health, good health, period. You want to show them love. You want to see them smile. You want to try to correct the issues that they're going through. You see, when I hear stuff like that, that just goes back to this irresponsible, not wanting to be held accountable, and don't want to tell everybody that there are the reasons why a lot of shit has gotten bad. A lot of black women have become corrupted because of terrible leadership. I don't know if you care about a black woman. What's caring about a black woman in an unhealthy way? What is that? If you got a black woman going out here murdering kids, okay, I'm not caring about her. She's murdering kids. I don't give a damn about her. She's murdering. As far as I'm concerned, she can go take a walk off the shore cliff. I'm not caring about somebody that's murdering children. What's unhealthy care about black women? Why? Because some of us understand why certain things are the way they are with them, and that they ratchet because the leadership is ratchet. What is this unhealthy stuff? I don't get it. Because we do the obvious. If we see a woman freaking out and doing some crazy stuff, whatever, we're going to address that accordingly. You see, the problem with a lot of you guys seem to keep thinking that we believe that black women can do no wrong. I've always said that she can't do no wrong because the black man can't do no right. When you start doing right, then we'll start talking about her doing wrong. But you haven't done anything right yet. So we don't know if she's wrong or not because you can't do nothing right. And you're the leader. You have to do something right first so we can see if what she's doing is in fact actually wrong. No, I don't think that we care about, not on this channel. Maybe they're doing that somewhere else, but we don't care about black women in an unhealthy manner over here. We care about black women, period. We care about them, period. And somebody always trying to come over here and change the narrative because they don't care about black women, because they've given up, and that they don't have what it takes to lead black women in the right direction. And they don't want to accept responsibility. You see, what these men don't want to accept is that they failed to lead their women properly. They're being outdone by other races of men. So outdone that other races of men are starting to take care of your women that you're supposed to be taking care of. And you don't have no problem with being outdone and outclassed and embarrassed like that. And instead of you accepting responsibility and trying to be a proper leader to reel your women back in, you start blaming them for your failures. And because someone comes along and see the truth, that many of them are this way because you've allowed them to become corrupted with your corrupted standards and your so-called community, oh, we caring about them in an unhealthy way. See, now some brothers done came along and seen your leadership for what it really is, which is an absolute failure. Now we caring unhealthily about our women. And now that some of us have come out and start defending our women against those who hate our women and those who are always trying to bash our women and trying to say that our women are worth nothing and their lives are worth nothing, now that you got some guys pushing back, oh, we care about black women in an unhealthy way. Because all of us aren't pieces of shit like the manospheres and the red pillars and all of that. And we care about our women and we're coming to their aid here on social media. And we also do that in real life. We care about them in an unhealthy way because you are bullying them, you are berating them and trying to embarrass them in front of the entire world because you're a failure. And this is the only way that you can try to get some of your masculinity back. By ganging up and beating up your own woman. You can't face no men in the real world on even ground, man to man. So you don't have the heart to do that. That's why you're fighting women. Because you are afraid to take that beast one-on-one out here in these fields. You are afraid of other men. That's why you're trying to get the black woman to buy into the fact that you have conformed to white supremacy. And now you are under the guise of white men. And you try to convince the black woman, right, that it's okay for her to be subjugated under you because you're under the white man. And because she's not falling for it, she calling you out for the punk that you are and for the coward and the unproductive Negro that you are. Now she got to be a strag, she got to be a bitch, she got to be a hoe, and she got to be all of these negative things. She got to hit the wall at a certain age. Now she's no more valued in a number system. She's a 2, she's a 3, all these negative things. Oh, and let's throw in there, oh, we care about them in an unhealthy fashion. Ninjas, is you crazy? Ninja, is you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
And we supposed to sit here and go with you when you have no plan, you are unproductive as hell, you haven't produced a damn thing. Somebody name the product that black men have produced today. You haven't produced shit. You don't produce nothing but negative videos about black women. You don't produce nothing but negative rhetoric about black women. That's what you are known for. Producing negative rhetoric about black women. I don't know who the hell these guys think they are. Talking about, oh, you hit the wall and use this. Who the fuck do they think they are? And what gives them the right to judge like that? What, because you are the manager at McDonald's? You think that you can tell black women about their lives? Oh, dang, I'll be right back. Dang, hold it down for me for a few minutes. I'll be right back. I got to get off for a minute. Dang.
Okay. That's
All
it.
right.
Okay. So yes, they feel they can judge us, and I never quite got then if they don't like us or we don't fit a certain mold that they have in mind, why don't they just move on to the one that does fit the mold? I think the reason why they don't is because they can't get the one that fits the mold. It's not just to tear us down, um, to, to make us accept them, but also we getting we becoming a whipping boy or the whipping girl for the one they can't get, and so they're trying to bring us down, so we force ourselves into this mold they got in mind. Yeah. Abena, have you been listening to all this? Okay. Maybe they think life is a game. It could be, since a lot of them do play video games more than they work. I mean, video game play outmatch your work time.
Yeah, I'm back there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so, we're going to let me wrap up my rant, and then we're going to open it up, do some freestyle if anybody want to come up and hang out with us. We're going to be hanging out for like one more hour or so, and then we're going to wrap it up. This is really our weekend. This is our weekend. We usually don't work on Sundays, but, I just, some things I just wanted to address. And like I said, the nerve of these dudes, you don't get to tell black women what their value is and what you think they value it. Well, fuck it. I don't understand why sisters are even getting involved in this shit. Like, these dudes are whack, man. Like, they don't have no real value in the world like that. Men don't respect these kinds of guys. Here's the thing with sisters. Y'all should watch out for the way guys interact with other guys. Never go for a guy that other men don't respect. All right? There's a reason why men don't respect him. Okay? And it's usually because he's a piece of shit. All right? Real men, real brothers in the real world, they don't respect these dudes. They ain't got no respect for these niggas. These ninjas. Got no respect for them. And with that being said, that's the end of my rant. Dame, how did you like it? Dame?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you asleep?
No. I'm sorry. I got a little distracted. But yes, they are messed up. And
Now, how
yes,
do you like the rant I did?
oh, Oh yeah, I I like the rant you did. It was on point, and you brought something to our attention that we didn't think of before,
And what's
especially
that?
me. That hey, it could be a setup.
Yeah,
If
man. I'm telling y'all, if y'all go look at that video, see, I would play the video here, but I don't want to give these brothers that kind of buzz. I don't care if we got two people in here. I don't even want to give them that. You understand what I'm saying? But you know, that video looks suspect to me. I don't know what black woman you can talk to like that, especially the way he was talking to her, and she don't lose her mind on you right there on the spot. Okay? I ain't never seen that. What kind of black woman is that? Go back and watch how, Dame, if you watch her actions, right?
mm-hmm.
She's just going along with whatever he says, smiling. I'm telling you, it's just in my opinion, she behaved like an actor to me. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure that video was real or not. That could have been some scam that they running to try to get views, and I wouldn't put it surprise about them because a lot of people out here scamming. But if you look at the way he was talking to her, I don't know a black woman that won't lose her mind. I even asked you if he talked to you like that, how long will it take for you to freak out? You said immediately. Hello?
Yes, yes, I did say immediately because if I was doing as well as she is doing, and him belittling that, but if I had been a man and he would be big up in me because she's a 6-figure woman. No, but he's tearing her down to saying that it don't mean anything. Well, if it don't mean anything for her, what you trying to say about the dudes then?
See. Here's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why are people? I don't understand why the women are even interested in what this dude is saying. He's not saying anything good. He's not trying to help you out. He's manipulating you. Manipulating you. And when you look at the end of the video, his true colors show. You know, a lot of these guys hate women. Why would you go to somebody that hates you for help?
Well, there's a bunch of women that don't think those type of men hate them. They think that they'll give them a man's perception with with a woman's mentality. I don't know what to call it.
Well,
You know,
well,
what they can understand him like a female, but he's gonna give them the man's perception, not knowing that he's more like her than he is like a man. And if he's more like her, he either ain't gonna understand any better than you, or he's gonna mislead you because hey, he's your competition.
hello.
Yes. Oh, did you hear what I said?
No, I blinked out for a minute. My
Oh,
boy again.
nope, we're not Borgin. I said
Um,
some women are under the impression that those guys of those persuasion is like having a male girlfriend. You know, someone she can chit chat with like her female friends, but and they'll give her the man perception, so help her get the man, not knowing that this is the competition.
yeah, but
So
the problem with that is these guys aren't men. They don't think like real males. They don't think like just the males. These dudes are feminine. They think like females.
yeah, that's
So
what I was saying.
yeah. So you barking up the wrong tree. You want a male perspective, go to a real male, a heterosexual male, one that's not gay and effeminate. Then you'll get a real male perspective. But these guys are effeminate. They're in competition with women. They're competing with women for the love of other men. Okay, so all you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do?
Okay, now you
Hello?
started. You borged for a brief second. You clicked out and borged in. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. But you see, the problem is with YouTube, what you think is a heterosexual guy, you run into manosphere where a lot of them are down low. So
Okay, let me ask you. Okay, let's get
you think you talking to
right.
a straight
Let's get
dude.
into.
Mhm.
Hey, I don't want to go into that. Let's get into this. Caring about black women in an unhealthy manner. Let's get into that.
Okay. All right. Okay, you gotta back it up a bit. He was in a conversation with
Now we
Remy.
don't need to. We don't need him to have the conversation. You know.
No, no,
People can
no.
give their opinion.
Okay. Okay, he was responding to. Okay, wait a minute. That's not it. He was responding to Remy. Okay, wait. She was okay. Yeah, here it is. This is what Remy was saying. Too many men are focused on women. He was and is in competition with black women. He gives me the fruity vibe. He's talking about uh that, and then he was like, exactly, women we care too much in unhealthy manner. But he might be talking about those type of dudes. They care too much about stuff that's inconsequential. Exactly. Remember, a lot of black males care too much about black females in an unhealthy manner. Uh-oh. Okay.
What's that?
Oh, I thought I lost you for a second. That was Ebony.
I'm trying to figure out what is an unhealthy manner.
The way they acting.
How are they acting? You see again. You see, with me, when you make a statement like that, you got to back it up. You can't just throw that out there and say, because there's all kinds of reasons why we care about a lot of black women. So, what are you saying, that we care about a black woman that isn't going to behave differently? I mean, I need more information.
Okay. Well, I don't know if Bro Speaker's still in here. He did
No,
want to
I told
come
you we
up.
don't need him to have the conversation.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. He's talking. Okay. He's talking about. Okay. Their unhealthy care is not really care. It's more like they pay their attention is all on changing women's attitudes, women looks, what they
All right,
do.
okay, but that's not telling me. Okay, Dan, that's not telling me about caring for black women in an unhealthy manner. I need to know what that's about.
Okay, maybe use the wrong word, care. He's talking about caring about what women are doing, but they're not doing it.
Yeah, but if you want to care about what women are doing, then you have to care about what black men did and what they are not doing now.
Yeah, but that's the unhealthy part. They
You
don't
see,
care about. Okay.
yeah, but you see, you notice how these guys won't take any responsibility. Why
Mm-hmm.
do black women keep falling for that? And they keep doubting themselves. These guys are putting everything on you. They won't accept any responsibility for them not leading, for them allowing the community to fall into ruins.
Mm-hmm.
And black women just keep falling for that. You keep thinking that you're the fault. You keep thinking that there's something wrong with you, and it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
They are the problem. I know that's kind of hard for some of you to understand, because you're probably saying that, oh, well, some black women do this, some black women do that. Yeah, they do, but you have to understand the environment in which they come from. Many of these environments are saturated with corruption. And that's due to the failed leadership that's in those communities. When your environment is corrupt, it's going to corrupt the people that live in the environment. So yes, you're going to have Black women who are going to behave badly. They are symptoms of that environment. That environment is the disease.
Okay. All right. Now, if there, okay. Until you came along, I wasn't thinking about the environment, and I talked to you. Probably other Black women are not thinking that
Okay, well, let me
there's a
break it
problem
down
with the
this way then.
environment.
Let me break it down this way. Let me break it down this way. Okay. All right. Say you have a neighborhood. Let's just say it's 2 city blocks. Okay. And it's gated. It's gated. There's a gate around it. And you got Black women live there and you got Black men live there. Right. Now, if the men in that environment, right, are patrolling the environment, making sure the environment is safe, they won't let certain people in the environment because they'll cause havoc, right? They don't let their girls go outdoors and shake their behinds, their young girls, right? To shake their behinds in a raunchy and sexual way, all right? What do you think the Black women are going to do in that environment? What do you think? What do you think? What type of mentality do you think they're going to develop?
They're gonna they're gonna develop a mentality to suit the environment.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You ain't got to go on. They're going to develop a healthy mentality towards the environment. Why? Because the men are setting healthy standards of behavior. And they're going to develop accordingly. And then they're going to uphold that environment. If they see little Lakeisha shaking behind, they're going to get out of little Lakeisha. Oh, come on now. We don't do that here. Get your little behind out of the street. Where your mama at? The women are going to uphold the healthy standards in the environment. Now, what happened to the women? They were influenced by the environment. Now, let's go back to that same gated community, right? And the men allow drug dealers to come in there. They let pimps come in there. Okay? Everywhere you look, drugs is being sold. People are getting robbed. Okay? Girls are scantily clad everywhere. Young girls are dropping it like it's hot or whatever. Guys are beating up girls. There's no real order in the community, but there are a couple of tough dudes in the community that nobody mess with. What do you think is going to happen to the Black woman in that environment? What kind of mentality do you think she's going to develop? Now, some are going to get away from that. They're just going to simply leave. But many of the Black women will stay. You know why Black women stay? Because they nest in the environment. The environment is supposed to be a pure environment. This is the environment that the man is supposed to provide. A salubrious environment. The Black woman should be able to go outside her door and have a wide variety to choose from when it comes down to good men. And the good men are provided by the upbringing of the fathers, how they raise their boys. You're supposed to be raising your boys to be good, upstanding young men. And this should saturate the environment. There should be plenty of good young men in the Black woman's environment that she can choose from. So when you have, hold on one second. So when you have this kind of corrupted environment, because you've allowed corruption to come in, what do you think is going to happen to the Black woman in that environment? If she can't leave, what is she going to do?
She's going to adapt to the environment.
She's going to adapt to the environment. Why? Because she needs to survive. So she's going to take on the negative characteristics that are permeating throughout her environment.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're allowing girls to be ratchet and that's what you like, they're going to be ratchet. They're going to be twerking, throwing their booty up in the air because that's what you told them that you like. That's what you allow in your environment. You don't think nothing's wrong with it. So you don't think nothing's wrong with it. They ain't going to think nothing's wrong with it. Why? Because you're the leader. So they're going to be influenced by the corruption in your environment. You can't do to her what white people have done to our ancestors. They have enslaved us, destroyed our mentality, and now they're blaming us for being fucked up. They fucked us up, destroyed our mentality, stripped us of everything, fucked our minds up, and now they're blaming us for being fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the same thing to the black woman, right? You've allowed the environment to become completely corrupted. Therefore, the environment that she lives in is an unholy environment. It's not a healthy environment, right? And so now that it has destroyed part of her mentality and has influenced her behavior in a negative way, now you're blaming her for being fucked up. Something that you allowed to happen. So you fucked her up. Now you blaming her for being fucked up.
Okay. Now, back to the question of why are they listening to these dudes?
Okay, you have no. Okay, I just went through a whole thing. You don't have nothing to say about it.
Okay, Max, I agree with you, but what I was trying to say is, if she's not aware of the connection to the environment and how she is, then she's might be accepting what they're saying because it's similar to what's in her environment.
It doesn't matter because that doesn't matter because she came out of a corrupted environment.
Exactly. Okay.
It doesn't matter where it happens at. It's just as long as it has happened. Like I said, the women who are doing this now, there are some strong women in the environment that can maintain their mentality, right? And see the environment for what it is, and that they can either shield themselves and their children from it, or they just simply leave. But there's a lot of women that can't do that because they're firmly in that nesting mentality, which is nothing wrong with that. Women nest in environment. That's not the wrong mentality to be in. Okay, it's just unfortunate that when they're in that mentality, the environment that they need to be in is not one that's conducive for that mentality. It's actually the opposite. So then the woman becomes corrupted because she's influenced by the corruption in the environment. And now they want to blame her for being influenced by something that they allowed to happen.
Okay.
Anybody in the chat got a question? Anybody saying anything about what I'm saying?
Yeah, they get what you're saying, but what we're saying is the women that's coming to the show, they don't understand that though. That's why they're going to his show, because they honestly either think he could help. He sounds similar to what they grew up in their corrupted environment.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, you asked. Okay. All right.
We was talking about caring about black women in an unhealthy way.
Okay. All right.
That's why I just went on this whole thing about that. Because they're blaming the woman for having an unhealthy behavior. And because we care about them, we caring about them in an unhealthy way. No, we understand why they're like that. That's what I'm talking about. Not talking about what somebody doing on the show. We was discussing caring about black women in an unhealthy way.
Okay.
Now you want to say it's unhealthy when you've allowed them to become like that. When you've saturated the environment that many of them live in with corruption. And because they become corrupted, oh, now it's unhealthy. And because we acknowledge the fact of what created their behavior, we don't run from it. We embrace it. Oh, now we're caring about them in an unhealthy manner. No, we're just not making excuses. We're acknowledging where their behavior comes from, and we're not running from it. We're facing the music. Those of us who are responsible are facing the music. Go ahead, Dane.
Okay. All right. Okay. I got the impression, maybe I'm wrong, that
Look, can we just forget about that show? I'm talking about unhealthy behavior. They're accusing us to even say that we're caring about black women in an unhealthy manner is problematic.
okay.
Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to hide the fact that they are responsible for corrupted behavior.
Mhm.
It's the same thing that whites have done to our ancestors.
Mhm.
They brought them over here, stripped them of everything, beat the living daylights out of them, screwed up their mentality, and now blaming black people for being fucked up. It's the same thing. You done screwed up her environment. You've allowed her environment to become insanely corrupted. And now that corruption has seeped into her behavior, you're blaming her for fucking her up. You fucked her up and you're blaming her for it.
Okay. Okay. All right. It's just that we're talking about the manosphere red pillars. They are having an unhealthy, as I said, I think he used the wrong word, was used, care. They care about
I don't
all
give
the,
a F about what. I'm addressing caring about black women in an unhealthy manner. That is problematic for someone to say something like that because there's all kinds of reasons.
Mhm.
We are ignoring why some black women have unhealthy behavior.
Okay. But wasn't talking about the black women having unhealthy behavior. We're talking about these
Oh my
dudes having
goodness.
unhealthy. Okay, all right. I'm gonna get off of it because
I don't think
you.
you understand what I'm saying.
Okay, no, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. But
I'm
okay,
addressing us caring about black women in an unhealthy manner.
okay. And
If they're saying that if they're saying that we're caring about black women in an unhealthy manner because they are exhibiting unhealthy behavior, then no, that's problematic. We got to take a look at where that unhealthy behavior comes from. Where does it originate from?
okay,
9 times out of 10, or maybe 10 out of 10, you can trace it back to the environment in which they come from.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to just sit up here and say, oh, well, you care about black women in an unhealthy manner is to excuse, right? Is to excuse the hand that failed black male leadership had in corrupting her behavior. You can't sit up here now and put poison in people's food, and then when some of them start getting sick and dying, talking about oh well, they should have checked the bowl before they ate it, or I don't understand why they're getting sick. Well, they're getting sick because you put poison in their food. Same thing with the environment. The black woman thrives in her environment. She nests in environments. If the environment is corrupted, 9 times out of 10, she is going to become corrupted as well. And that has to do with failed leadership.
Okay.
A real leader will not allow his environment to become corrupted. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. I'm going at it that women are not unhealthy. These dudes in weird interests in black women is unhealthy. They're they're not about trying uh to correct the environment. They're not about trying to uh do the things they need, step up and get the environment correct.
Right. Look. I
It
don't have no problem with what you're saying. We're just
Mhm.
talking about two different things.
Exactly. That's what I was talking about. You took it
I
no
wanted to talk. I want to talk. I don't want to argue with you.
Okay.
We're supposed to be on the same side. What are we arguing for?
Okay. Okay. All right. But I wasn't arguing. I just had
Look, I don't want to go back and forth about it.
okay.
I was addressing. I was addressing the comment about us caring about black women in an unhealthy manner. To
That
me,
wasn't
such a
about
comment.
us. That
I don't.
wasn't
I
that
don't care about who was what. I'm addressing the comment because it's problematic.
okay. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let's let's move on.
No, I'm not.
All right.
No, I'm
The
not done with this
environment is
situation.
corrupted. The environment is corrupted, and we are becoming more aware about the environment being corrupted and how these black men have not stepped up. They're not accepting responsibility. They're not trying to. In fact, they leaving the environment to move on to a whole nother environment to mess up and corrupt. They believe that they didn't
And
corrupt it.
so,
Mhm,
to even add to what you're saying, right?
mhm,
You got black men now even getting a bad reputation overseas.
mhm,
Foreign women are complaining. See what I'm talking about?
uh-huh,
They're taking this destructive behavior and they're corrupting foreign environments.
uh-huh.
This is why I said that statement is problematic because it doesn't tell you the truth.
Yeah,
It's an
that
excuse. It's an excuse that they can hide behind to cover up their terrible leadership and the fact that they are ruining the environment that the black woman is nesting in.
yes,
And she's becoming corrupted.
uh-huh,
They're doing it overseas.
exactly.
There are foreign women now complaining about black men coming over there and corrupting the surroundings.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I see
So
it.
don't tell me that we care about our black women in an unhealthy manner.
Okay, Max. Okay, look,
I'm not
Max.
talking about you.
Okay, this is not about us or the men who
I told
own
you I'm not going to get into no argument with you on air.
Okay, this is
We're
about
supposed to be on the same side.
okay, we are, but this is about the
I'm not going to
manosphere.
go back and forth with you on air.
Okay.
Now we got an issue, a difference of opinion. We can talk about it in the back chat. We're not going to do this on the air in front of everybody. You understand?
Okay. All right. Okay, so we agree the manosphere is corrupting environments wherever they go. In fact, their own brethren are pissed off at them, and they're starting to realize that black women are not making this up or exaggerating it or trying to put bad light. These men are a bad light.
Like I said, I have a problem with the comment. Period. That it was even made.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what the intentions were. That comment is problematic because it does not tell the truth. It hides the
Okay,
truth.
so you're saying, okay, you're saying that this comment is about the manosphere actually care about black women in a healthy way.
What? Why would I say something like that?
But that's what this comment is about. That's what that
What?
comment was about manosphere having a unhealthy care about what black women are doing.
No, I'm talking about something else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm most certainly not talking about them caring about black women. They don't care about black women at all. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, these manosphere channels pretend to care, but it's in an unhealthy way. It in a way that tears women down, give them low self esteem, and make them make them feel better, or make these unacceptable men look more acceptable by pointing the finger at themselves, make the women point the fingers at themselves, like and believe they are the problem.
Well, I look at it like this here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another tactic to try to shame black men for coming to the aid of black women.
Mm-hmm.
Suggesting that we care about them in an unhealthy manner.
Oh, okay.
Give me a
Okay.
second, Sam. I got to go on mute. I'll be right back. Entertain the crowd. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Hey, Black Caesar, long time no see. Yes, they've been moving on instead of fixing their own. Yeah, their own crap. Highly favored. Yes, and those that was championing them are starting to see a problem with that. You know, yeah, because they starting to see that it's really not about black women
Okay,
um
I'm back. I'm sorry.
having an issue. It's about them, and they bringing it into these other places, which is giving every black man a bad reputation, whether
Uh,
they deserve it or not.
Co-host,
Yes, I just
can
wanted to
you put the
wrap
link?
it up. Oh,
Can you
the
put
link.
Can you put the link out, please?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hey, anybody want to come up? I would like somebody to come up so we can talk. Listen, it's like this here, right? We got brothers in here that have children. Okay, as a father, if you have daughters, right, and you're raising your daughters in your home, that's the first environment that they learn about. So if the home is corrupted, then the girls are going to come out of the home corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
If the father is allowing the girls to do unholy things in the home, which is the first environment that they grow up in, it's the first environment that they learn. If he let them get away with doing unholy things and he's not regulating anything, let them do whatever, then they're going to come out of that house wild as hell. They're going to come out of that house corrupted and with terrible behavior. Now, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Hello?
That is the man. That's their father.
The fault of the father. Why? Because the father is the leader of the house, right? He is
Right.
the father. Okay? He failed to regulate that environment properly to teach his girls better. He failed to put proper things in that environment so that they may develop a healthy mentality.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with the neighborhood and the environment outside of the house. the men who led the community made sure that the community was safe and there weren't things in the community, right, that will teach girls and boys to think in an unholy or develop an unhealthy mentality. Black men have failed to do that today. So now you got a lot of ratchet women twerking everywhere because you've allowed this to happen. You said it was okay. Hell, some of y'all are twerking. You got dudes out here twerking now. So you doing it, they doing it. You haven't set any standard. You out here twerking too. So when you tell me a black woman is twerking, right? You Negroes are twerking. And so when this so-called ratchet behavior developed, there are those of us who are responsible. We want to look at the origin of it. Where does it come from? Mm-hmm. We traced it back to the environment being corrupted and the leadership in that environment being an absolute joke. And so we acknowledge that, we acknowledge where it comes from, and we embrace that's the truth, and we do not run from it. We face the music because we aim to correct it. If you want to correct the woman, you have to correct the environment. Not the other way around. You can't corrupt her from your diseased environment and sit up here and tell her, oh, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. Don't work like that. You got to heal the environment in which the corruption came from. Mm-hmm. Like I said, these women that you claim are behaving badly and doing all these raunchy things, they are just symptoms. Your corrupted environment is the disease. Go ahead, Dane.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and it don't help that the men no longer create the environment. They no longer seem to be a part of the environment. They neglect the environment. They don't see that they're supposed to do something about it. They keep pointing the finger at the women. The pointer they point at the women is the result of their neglect. Neglect to raise and take care of their family. Neglect to protect their community. And neglect to get involved with the community. Oh, it's a bad link? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me try this. Let's see. Something must be a little off. Okay. Okay. Try this. Let's see. I apologize for that, y'all. Let's see what's going on. Oh, okay. I accidentally sent out an old link. Sorry about that. Okay. So okay, bro, speak.
Hello, how you doing?
All right. Ooh, dang.
What's up? Yeah, you sound bad. It sounds like you're on the CB radio.
I'm on my headphones. Hold on. Let me set that up.
That's a little better. Yeah, work.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah. Yes, much better. What up, bro? Speak.
Yeah. Oh, nothing much. I'm out of town. I'm in Amarillo trying to make this extra money. So
I hear you.
Yeah.
What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, I think you took my comment like the wrong way. I think it was more Dane was trying to explain it better than, but Yeah, I think, like I said, to when I was answering Remy about when she was talking about how these guys were acting, I said, yeah, it's because they care about these women too much. They care. I mean, it's like because it's unhealthy because they so fixated on it.
Mm-hmm.
Where it is, they fixated on what these women, what they think these women want, what they dress, who they date, all that kind of stuff, and they're not focused on themselves. It's like, look, are there women ratchet? Of course, but if you fix yourself, you don't have to deal with a ratchet chick. It's just not going to happen. You fix yourself first, then you can fix the environment that you're dealing with. If you in an environment where there are a lot of ratchet chicks, well, you can't fix it if you have no power to fix it. It's not going to work. So, like you said, you got a lot of powerless dudes out here. They get online, and what do they focus on? Instead of getting power and going after the real enemy, who they focus on? Soft targets. What's a soft target? Black black women. So that's what I was saying. I'm going with that. No,
Mm-hmm.
and to the guys in the chat, I do not think y'all have an unhealthy manner. Unhealthy. It's an unhealthy manner. I might think it's a little idealistic, but it isn't. It's a healthy manner because in the end of the day, you want your people to succeed. You know, you want the women to
Mm-hmm.
prosper, the women are happy, the men are happy, everybody, and we have a better relationship and a better community. That's not
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy. That's what everybody should strive for.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we got a lot of broken people out here who's not striving for that.
Right,
They
right.
will,
Well, let me ask you this:
yeah.
Who's going to build that healthy community? The black
Well,
women,
well, it would have to be the men that have to do that. But
right? In order to do that, right,
but they
then your mentality has to be stable. It has to be a
right,
healthy mentality, right?
right,
Well, when you have an unhealthy mentality that is saturating an environment, that leads to corruption. And once corruption set in, the people become corrupted.
right. Yeah, I
So you can't get mad at someone that you created. You cannot create ratchet women with your corrupted environment and then turn around and call them names and get mad at them. You created them. If your environment wasn't corrupted, there will be no ratchet women.
right. I agree with that. You know, a lot of these ratchet women come from broken and messed up environments.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
come from messed up men who don't know what to do, who are
no,
screwed up,
right.
terrible leaders,
Doing all kinds of
smoked
stuff.
out, smoked out, want to be toy gangsters, more interested in going to jail than in going to school, don't produce anything,
No,
and leave your community in ruins. And then leave
right.
it wide open
For
where it's not
everybody else.
protected. Yeah.
For everybody else to come in and swoop and take advantage of it. I
A
got you.
woman, think of a woman like a chicken. I won't say chicken, but a hen. What do hens do? They nest in the hen house. Women nest in the environment. That is what they do. It is up to us to make sure that the environment that they nest in is a productive and healthy one. Now, I understand a lot of brothers aren't willing to accept that responsibility. They don't want to be men. But we have
Well,
to start pointing the finger where the finger belongs. We got to start looking at the leader and bring the leaders of this environment under scrutiny.
well, I would say that it's not that how do I put this? We're asking dudes who how do I put this? We're asking the wrong people to be responsible men. You're asking the guys in the manosphere, the guys red pillars, the MGTOWers, these you're asking them guys to be responsible men for the community. They don't, like you said, they don't have the mentality to do that yet.
No.
Now some may grow into it. You know, some people they have to live life in order to get to that point. You know, you get if you listen to a lot of these guys, they're young. They're not. I bet some of them is probably not even past 35, if you, except for a few. And those goofballs past 40, you know, you should just write them off completely. Just they already gone. But some of these guys, like I said, they're not past 35. They haven't lived life yet. They led a few, either some bad experiences. Hell, they might have had a bad childhood. Maybe had a lot of stuff happen, but they haven't lived life. They haven't had that guidance or someone to pull them to the side and to, hey, okay, I know that this person did this to you. I know that your brother lied to you, but hey, this is how you pick a better people. This is how you're gonna have to be a better people. This is how you're gonna, because if you keep that rage, you're never gonna grow.
Right.
And I think I said it on one of your panels before. We're dealing with the children, great grandchildren of these crack babies, these drug babies.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is they gotten online. And the thing about online that is a tragedy is that it's hard to police it at all. At all. It's very hard to police it. And anybody can come with a mic and just say some goofy stuff. And people, if they sound good enough, if they look good enough, if the thing is entertaining enough, they're gonna follow it. It could be, like you said, and I think I know the guy you're talking about. He looks, I mean, say what you want. He does look like a handsome guy, and women are going to gravitate to that. And you know, and to say, yeah, well, they talk down on them. Even you know that I've seen women on these YouTube streets. They will pay to talk to a dude who literally would tell them all he thinks of them as hoes. They will pay.
That's because they come out of an environment to where that they are mentally abused over and over and over again. They're used to the abuse. They don't feel right without the abuse.
Yeah, that's a very tragic thing.
Now, what's even more tragic is you got brothers exploiting them for their own financial benefits, their own financial gain. Like when you look at that video, like I said, the first thing that stood out to me about that video, it looked fake. Looked fake because, not saying that he's not a real person, he's a real person. And the woman that's on the screen is a real person. But I don't know any black woman that you talk to like that without her losing her mind. This is real talk. I don't know what black woman on earth that you can find that you can talk that way to without her completely losing her mind. This woman showed no emotion, didn't freak out.
Yeah, that might be.
I don't know what that is. I ain't never seen nothing like that. That looks suspect to me. She, as far as I'm concerned, this is my opinion. I'm not saying it is. She looked like an actor to me. She behaved like an actor. That's just my opinion. That's nobody else's opinion. That's my opinion. She looked to me. She looked like an actor. Again, I don't know any black woman you can talk that way to without her completely jumping out of her skull.
Well, it. I always point out though that if the chick is into you enough, you could pretty much say anything to her, and she's gonna take.
Right, but that's an intimate thing. This was a so-called random black woman.
It don't matter. It could be a random black dude.
No. It matters because listen, Shahrazad Ali, right, is one of the most sweetest, politest black woman I've ever listened to. Right? Her, along with Farrakhan's daughter. Talk to them like that and see what happened. And these are very feminine, very polite ladies. I dare you to talk to one of them like that and see what happens.
But they're coming from a different environment, Max.
Like I said, right. So
I'm just saying,
right,
that to say that it could not happen. I mean,
I've never seen it. I've never seen that. That didn't seem right to me, because I know women who are screwed up too. You know, women I've been trying to help. I tried to help some women almost to a detriment because I just can't do nothing for them. You know, they're gone, right? But even they won't sit there and just take straight out disrespect. Even they'll fight you back. Even though that they're used to being abused, they still try to maintain some dignity about themselves. Yeah, I may have low self-esteem, and a lot of things you say about me may be right, but you're not gonna talk to me like that. I've seen women like that. That's why that looks strange to me. I'm like, okay, I don't know what kind of black woman this is, but it just didn't seem real to me. But what I will buy is that she comes from an environment to where she's used to being mentally abused and emotionally abused to the point where she probably don't think anything's wrong with it.
Yeah.
And such women do exist.
Yeah, I know one in particular that my brother dated.
Mm-hmm.
He talked to her like a dog. She didn't say nothing. But here's the kicker, though. The kicker to it was that when she found another dude that had a little bit better,
mm-hmm.
she betrayed him. So there's only so far you can do that. But if you do stuff like that all the time, you have to put the hammer down at 24/7, because once you slip up, she got him. And she gonna and then
here's
that same chick will set him up.
Right. And then here's another thing too, right? When you have women like that, okay, who's used to taking that abuse, look at the households that they come out of. Usually that there's no father there to regulate, teach the daughters properly. Or the father was in the house and didn't care anything about his girls. His girls grow up wild and do whatever they want. He never set any standards, never regulated the environment. I mean, it's sad when you have children in the house with parents and the children are still raising themselves. That's why I always say, and people will fight me on this, I don't believe that there's bad children. I believe only in bad parents. Bad parents influence children to become bad. And what kills me is we're supposed to be the leaders of our race. We are the men, okay? Every other man is the leader of his race, doing what he's supposed to do. Instead of trying to help our women, trying to correct the problem and see that this is an issue that needs to be dealt with and corrected by us, nah. We want to try to exploit them, make money off of them, embarrass them in front of the world, to try to make ourselves look good, try to make us look like we have something that we don't have, which is power. Trying to convince the black woman that you're a boss when you're not. You actually have a boss because you are too cowardly to get out and face men on the in the real world, on the real stage. You don't want to compete with other real men. You are afraid of other men. And this is what they don't want to talk about. If you weren't afraid of other men, you wouldn't be sitting here trying to sell the black woman on a dream of conformity. You are conforming to white supremacy. You have bent over, and now you're convincing her that bending over is not so bad. Because you're too much of a coward to take back your manhood. I always said this. I'm going to say this in closing. I always said this. You can't talk your way out of this. I don't care how smart you think you are, how many 12 syllable words you know, what college you went to. You ain't getting your manhood back unless you fight for it. You're going to have to fight this beast. You ain't beating him no other way. And with that being said, I got to go on mute because I'm working. I'll be right back, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what else can I say? I mean, it's straight facts on that one. I mean, but that's the thing. A lot of black males are too interested in showing they have power and actually having power. And you can look at, like I said, that's what it came with the unhealthy care. It's because they're so busy trying to show that they are I guess, show that they could do all these things for these women and they have to um, bow down, all that goofy stuff that they don't. The real task is trying to actually get power, and no, they don't want to do all that. At least, at the very least, get power over themselves, but they don't want to do that. It's just, and so they take it out on the females, you know, whether it's in their live or on the line. And it's just, to me, it's silly.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think some of them are just kind of lost. They're going by what they see, what they had to learn the hard way. They fixate on the on the trappings of what it is they want. They want wealth. They want to look it. It's kind of like a friend of mine. Me and her has a disagreement about makeup, especially foundation. I think when it doesn't look like you're wearing makeup, that's the best way to be. But she is that makeup is supposed to be visible. Um, so I think they want to visually be seen as wealthy, powerful, um, and they're not willing to work for it, or they think there's got to be other reasons why they're not than the real ones.
Right. You know, so, and again,
Mhm.
blaming the women, obsessing over this whole obsession, talking about women 24/7, 365. They're this, they're that. I mean, that just shows that they care. It's an unhealthy care about black women, their opinion of them, and
They're
how
obsessed.
they view them, and how the world viewed them. I'm like, man, You care that much? I'm
But
like,
the wrong type of care. They caring about uh how we wear our hair. They caring about if we fat or skinny. They're not caring if we're healthy, or if they do, it's still not in the right way. It's not about uh we care about your weight because uh with the weight comes all these illnesses and stuff like that, and we don't want you to die sooner than you should be. It cuts your lifespan short.
right,
Or they don't want to help. They think that she should be able to or should do it and stuff like that, not taking into account that she probably don't know how, because our bodies are so different. Our bodies don't like to give up the weight because it's programmed to keep a certain amount of weight, because if famine happened, the woman that has the more extra weight, her and her child will survive the famine. You
right.
know, that's that evolutionary thing.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
and they don't look into like Max said, they're not looking into the why. They look at this is what's happening. Either they don't look into the why,
Hmm.
or they just don't care.
Hmm.
It's a lot of apathy. I
Yeah.
mean, it's insane.
Or they,
And
were, or they were so busy trying to get the woman in the bed, they didn't get to know her family, her history. They didn't get to know her, and they jumped into this relationship, or they wanted to pump and dump, and then they get caught because they don't want to take responsibility of trying to keep from impregnating a woman, or try to keep from having a child. They scream they don't want to have children, they don't want to pay child support, but the same ones that they're screaming at, they don't want to do the things they're supposed to do to make sure they do not have any children.
no, they want to put all the emphasis on the woman. And I'm like, that's. I remember there was a guy. I had there was a video
Mhm.
that was made, and I made the comment that protect your seed. Make sure you're not giving your seed to some unworthy chick. Do you know I got like a lot of hateful comments just for saying that. Even the
Well,
guy who made the video got on me about saying that. I'm like, dude,
well, well,
it,
it come right. Well, it comes down to this, right? These men don't care about the well-being of women or children.
Mhm.
You
no,
don't care about your woman's health because you built no medical facilities for them. You
no,
leave her health up to another man. That's not her natural man. So now you've taken your show. Now you've taken you're not caring for women. You've taken that show on the road, and now foreign women are suffering because you don't care about them either. Now
Yeah.
they're starting to see what you are like. You've taken your show on the road, and now you're corrupting other environments. This is the conversation that they don't want to have. You want to sit up
no.
there and talk about women all the goddamn time, but you are corrupting other environments simply because you do not give two shakes of a cat's ass about the women in those environments. The white man cares about his woman. You know why? He has medical facilities. He cares about her health. The Hispanic man has medical facilities for his woman. The Chinese man got medical facilities for his woman. The black man don't have shit for his woman. He's telling you to go to these other men's facilities.
Yeah, they
How
won't
is she going
even.
to? How is she going to respect you as a king, as a leader, and submit to you, right? When you're submitting to other men, you're submitting. You're submitting, kowtowing, and conforming, and bending over.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, there was even a YouTuber was talking about buying a hospital. It got it didn't even get a lot of views
You don't have to
because
buy a hospital. You can build one. Black people,
well, well,
listen. Black people are some of the most talented, if not the most talented and creative people on this planet. We can build anything. It is nothing for us to get together, get some land, and build a facility. We can lay brick. We are architects. We can build. Problem is, we aren't doing it.
no,
Um, that's
we're just
because we're in a individual mode instead of
Right.
coming together as a group.
Black men can build anything they want. Ain't nothing black men can't build. Just don't want to do it.
nope. They're in survival mode. It's pretty much that's what it is.
No,
And
no, no, no. They're not in real survival mode. Because survival mode would have told them to protect their seed. They cannot afford to have a child, or they don't want a woman or wife. They
You
just
know,
want. Mm,
I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off, Dane, but this got me going tonight. You know what's so embarrassing, bro? Speak as a man, to watch other men argue in public about not taking care of their children, not wanting to pay for the children that they helped create. See, when other men see this, they have no respect for you. They
yeah,
have no respect for you. You ever
it's,
argue with your baby mama about a $50 support payment? You should be insulted that that's all they want from you. Your child should be worth more to you than $50. That's embarrassing, man. It makes us all look bad.
Yeah, because they don't care for the child and even the
well,
mother. So,
well, yeah, they never they because they never established that connection with the mother. You know, all it was a sexual encounter, and so if you don't care about the mother, you ain't gonna care about the child. It's just
yeah,
that's just how it goes. And
I don't know about that. I know men who don't like the mother, but they love their children.
well, I'm,
But you see, here's another problem, right? That guys don't seem to get. The mother and the child is a package deal. You don't get to separate the two. Children need their mother. It's a package deal. So when you take care of the child, you take care of the mother too. You have to. Because if you want your child to be in a healthy environment, you have to make sure the child's mother is taken care of. Now, you may not like the mother, you may hate it with the mother, but that child loves his or her mother. So it's incumbent upon you to make sure she is taken care of along with the child, to provide the proper environment for the child to grow up in. If the child sees you always talking crazy to his mother, always belittling his mother, don't want to give her no money, whatever, then the child will grow up hating you because the child loves his or her mother. That's something that these Negroes fail to understand. It is a package deal. If you don't like it, then wear a condom next time. Make sure you wear two if you don't like it. But the
well,
mother and the child is a package deal. You don't get to separate the two. Go ahead, bro, speak.
better yet, don't just get involved with a chick that you just can't stand either. I mean, that's another thing.
Exactly.
You know, if you're going to have a sexual relationship, I mean, with a woman, she got to be something like at least you can, if anything, even if you just want that type of relationship, you at least respect her enough to care for her well-being, even if you're not the guy for her. you at least care, respect her enough to where you let everything be known from the jump. This is what it is, and this is how it's going to be, and nobody comes in with any pretenses. And if let's just say, even if you do all that, if she start catching feelings, then the proper thing to do is just to cut all ties. I mean, it's just the proper way to do that because you let it linger on. Now she has expectations. You don't meet these expectations. Now she's just a bitter chick, and now there's some other guy who's gonna have to clean up that mess that you left because you wasn't handling everything properly. And I think that's what it is. A lot of these dudes don't handle. They don't know how to handle themselves properly, much less try to handle a female. And
Right.
so
Well,
and it goes back to that they don't understand. They don't care about these females. Like it's well, they care, but it's like they care for the wrong reasons. They want the, how do I put it? They want the attention. They want the sexual conquest of having this particular female, but they don't want to deal with the other things that go with dealing with a,
sexual conquest.
yeah.
Not immature. Not immature. I'm not talking about you. I'm attacking the statement. Sexual conquest. Not immature that sounds. What are we, 15?
That's what the
Sexual
dudes are at.
conquest?
That's where the dude's mindset is at.
That's what they're at. They are. That's why I don't even call them men.
Sexual
I call them
conquest.
boys. These I don't look at,
Sound like they've
when
been reading too many romance novels.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, at
I
some point,
I wouldn't be
don't these
surprised
guys
they do.
understand it? Do these guys understand that at some point they got to grow up and be real men and do things adult men do and think the way adult men think?
Well, unfortunately, they think they are thinking like adult men and that they're grown. They
Uh, I,
don't. they see. They see that they are. They don't realize their sight is blurred. It's
I
unfocused.
can't I can't tell when you're having conversations about Spider-Man bed sheets and your favorite DC comic book character. I can't tell that your mentality is that of an adult.
well, I would.
That's because
I,
they spend too much time speaking to other men like them. They're
right.
not speaking to real men in the community. They don't want to hear it. And
No.
they dodge them and they and try to blow smoke up them to distract them from what they really are.
And
Little
you know
boys.
what?
Grow
And you
up.
know what?
Mhm.
And the men who don't want to hear that, to some degree, that's our fault too. Because we should take the time to pull these guys and say, look, man, you 35 years old. Okay, enough with the comic book stuff, bro.
Hey,
You got mouths to feed. You need to be serious about what you're going to do about these children. You need to be starting to be concerned about your legacy, building generational wealth for your children. You need to get serious about life. Maybe brothers like ourselves who don't want to be bothered with this stuff, maybe we should start telling these guys, hey, look, man, it's time to get serious about your life.
well, it. I will say it needs to be balanced, and unfortunately, it's unbalanced because this society encourages either encourages or restricts a lot of black males. So the only way they think that they get any, how do I put this? It encourages them to be goof offs. It encourages them. And if you listen to the music, media, even Instagram, a lot of it encourages these guys to be goof offs, you know. And unfortunately, some of the females encourages this as well because they keep seeking these type of dudes out.
Because this is what they have become accustomed to.
Right.
This is what I keep trying to say. The guys keep trying to dodge this bullet. This bullet is going to keep hitting you. It's coming back. It's all going to come back to you. The women follow the men. They're going to do what you are doing. If you are encouraging this kind of behavior, since you are the leader and they're following you, you are telling them that it's okay to do that. And you know what? I was talking to an Arab dude about a month ago, right? And he was telling me that he see a lot of Arab dudes talk about us a lot, right? And that they see all of the injustices that goes on over here. And some of them actually want to do something, but you know why they don't?
Oh,
he said
yeah.
the main reason why that they don't interfere is because they don't see black men wanting to help themselves.
Oh yeah, I already figured that one out.
Yeah.
Black men would get more help from. We would get more allies if we showed that we can help ourselves. I mean,
Right.
if we look at what's the type of black male that's popular right now, I'm not even gonna call them men. Look at the type of black males that are popular right now. Look what they doing. They got babies everywhere, baby mamas everywhere. They just throwing money away. They talk the most goofy stuff, or if they in some type of politics, they crying all over the place. It's just they show nothing but weakness and failure. And the good black men out there, we bear the brunt of that. Our image is in the toilet right now.
Yeah,
And
because
we don't control it.
Because the ones who are the strongest aren't doing anything about it. Like, for example, I talked about the home being the first environment that children grow up in. That's the first environment that they learn how to interact with. I got 4 other brothers, right? When we were in the house cutting up, when cleaning up our room and got trash everywhere, stuff like that, right? My father was the one to come in and start throwing lightning bolts. You understand? My mother didn't do it. My father did. Because he understood the mentality that his boys were developing. We was developing a mentality of not giving a damn about anyone else's property. We were developing a mentality that we didn't respect authority. And so he came in and corrected it and put a stop to it. You understand? As a man should. I think we have failed at doing that with the younger generation of men. We're not putting a stop to it. We are allowing it to grow and fester and get worse. This is why I have a real big problem with guys pointing fingers when you're not pointing a finger at yourself. You've allowed this to happen. The men in the environment that I grew up in would never allow this to happen to their environment. Fathers used to watch over the community. They would sit on their porches with shotguns. You could not walk down my block unless someone knew you. Yeah. I mean, you can walk through, but you had to keep it moving. If you stopped for a few minutes, looked around, somebody would step to you. Hey, who are you? What are you doing here? And it would be somebody's father. The men did not allow their environment to become saturated with corruption. And that's what's wrong with the men today. They let anything happen to their environment, and now your women are corrupted, and now your younger boys are corrupted as well. And you don't want to admit it happened on your watch, and you are to blame for it. You want to blame everyone else but yourself. I got to get off here for a while, y'all. I got to deal with this checkpoint. I'll be back in a few minutes. We can't be on the phone when we're going through these checkpoints.
Okay.
I'll be back in about 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So they don't see the connection. Dang. Well, all right. They don't see the connection with themselves and the environment, or they don't want to admit to it that maybe because they don't want to admit that their dad was wrong by not being there for them. They never learn how to properly be men, how to grow the community, take care of the community, fix the community, and that they are leaders of the community. They've been told, but they ain't been shown how to do that. If the one that's supposed to show you is not there or has left. Around the phrase casual sex happened. Ooh. Well, I know there was free love around the 60s, so casual sex maybe around the 80s. Casual sex, no strings attached, don't want to get married. Oh, don't forget the friends with benefit type thing too. That was just
Yeah,
another way of saying casual sex. Hello,
yeah,
information man. Hey, bro, speak.
How you doing?
yeah. I don't know what happened. I just got hotel
Yeah,
internet.
yeah. I wanted
Yeah.
to. I
Hey,
wanted to
information
say
man, how you
something.
doing?
Hey, I'm doing fine, brother. Hey, peace to everybody on the panel. I wanted to say something to what brother Max was saying about the values. He was saying, you know, a lot of these guys, you gotta speak to these guys, and I'm here to tell you that the only way that you change the narrative is that you have to have men in the community that are about these kind of principles to teach to the young, to the young. The only way you're going to rebuild the black community is you have to rebuild it through the youth. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to save every adult black person. We're not going to be able to change their thinking. There's some people that may change. There's others that you're not. I really wouldn't spend a lot of time trying to rehabilitate people on YouTube, because a lot of people on YouTube who think this way, they're sort of fixed in the way they believe, and they use YouTube as a way to vent their ideology, an ideology that they're not going to change from. And this is very evident. I've been on panels. All you got to do is ask basic questions. One, what are you doing if you're not happy with the things that you see in the black community? What are you doing to change it? People get quiet. You ask them, are you involved in any type of mentorship in the black community to help black boys, since you're concerned about black boys becoming effeminate? And I am concerned about that. And I have done work in the community, and I continue to do work. But when you ask brothers these questions, these fundamental questions, if you don't like what's happening, are you involved in transforming and making it change? And some guys will say, well, I don't have time. I don't have time for that. I got this and that. And then I'll say, okay, well, are you willing to sponsor an organization? You got 100 black men. There's a variety. I'm going to be doing a show on this. There's a variety of black men out there that are doing things with youth. There's even what they call it, Afro Tech in Oakland. I lived in Oakland for a while. You have a lot of young black men and young ladies that are involved in Afro Tech, and they're doing incredible things that they're inventing that we're going to be using in the future. You have brothers that are doing mentorship with a tech academy where they're working with black males who are going into science. So you're not going to find black men, particularly on YouTube, who think a certain way in that area. You're not going to be able to recruit them, because for the most part, some of these guys they don't have solutions in their blood. They simply want to vent and complain about problems. And when you ask them about solutions, they have none. And when I ask those questions, They either say they're not involved in an organization. They're not. And I say, are you willing to donate to an organization? It gets quiet. It gets so quiet that you can hear a rat piss on cotton. So when you ask the tangible questions, which means, are you willing to roll up your sleeves? They're not willing to do it. They'll call you the cleanup man, but they're not willing to improve the community in a way through the youth in which they're complaining about the community, such as complaining about young black males in particular being effeminate. So if you don't like that, what do we do to change that narrative? You have to get involved either directly or indirectly. But your first responsibility, if you are a father and you have a daughter, a son, a family, your first responsibility is to change the narrative through your family. Everything should start with family first, right?
Right.
So when you really talk on a real level to some of these guys, you will know what they're about very quickly by how quiet they are when they can't answer questions that are based in solution. And when they're not answering, they can't answer those questions, then that should tell you, don't waste your time. Men of light mind should deal with men of light mind, men that are producers and builders. Surround yourself with those type of men. Don't waste your time on YouTube trying to convince men who are not solution based, because they're still in pain because of something that happened so many years ago. So they use YouTube as a therapeutic tool to vent their anger, but it has no solutions to it. Don't waste your time or your breath with that.
Okay, exactly.
True.
Yeah. But time, breath, money. And I think for the most part, women, except for the one that they're, for the most part, realize it ain't about nothing. They not going over there, not even for entertainment. But there's a whole bunch of them, or it appears to be a whole bunch of them, that seem to co-sign with these guys about. Is it because they in a corrupted environment and they think this is normal or okay to be talked to that way, or to see women being talked to that way? Or they thinking they talking about those women over there and not about them?
I mean, anytime I have an opinion about women, I make sure that I preference by saying I'm not talking about all women. You can't put all women, all people in one box, because you don't know every woman in the world. There's thousands and millions of women all over the world. And unfortunately, sometimes brothers will put all black women in this box, and not every black woman fits that box in particular. And let's keep this in mind. Black men who talk in this manner on these platforms, and I've been on panels with brothers, I've debated brothers, I've had back and forth exchange. Some things I've agreed with, some things I have not agreed with. At the end of the day, don't get it twisted. Black men who speak this way on YouTube do not represent the majority of black men in the world. There are so many black men in the real world, outside of cyber world, that have never heard of such talk. I mean, myself, when I came into the scene on YouTube, when I heard some of the things I was hearing that brothers were saying, I was like culture shock to me, because I'd never been around black men who talk that way. I'm used to being around black men that are do-getters. They tell you to get the hell out of the way. We're getting something done. Crying and whining is for the babies. That's the kind of black men I've been raised around. My fathers, my uncles. I got about 15 damn uncles, and all of them own their own businesses, and they're not into crybaby shit. So coming on to YouTube for me and being on panels with guys like this is a culture shock, because I'm saying I've never heard black men talk like this. I've been around guys that are winners, not losers.
Info, let me ask you this question, right? Now, it's true what you're saying, okay? And I do agree with you. We shouldn't be wasting our breath on these guys when they already have a fixed mentality, right? But here's what my concern is, though. I'm going to ask you the same thing. Are you concerned with the 400, 500, 600? I've even seen it as far as 800, even over 1,000 men that are in those chats. a majority of them are in their early 20s.
I am concerned about that because they're getting a one-sided narrative, and at that age you can be, as you already know, brother, you can be easily influenced
Yes.
by men that you look up to, and that's dangerous. But this is the counter to that, brother. You are the counter to that, brother Max. You have to have black men on YouTube who are a counter to that. Now I consider myself sort of a counter to that, even though I can move in and out of those spaces with those brothers, because for me, some of these brothers respect me to a certain degree. I can get on those panels. I can debate individuals, things of that nature.
Oh yeah, I've seen your work.
But but you never see me go back to my channel and traffic in that type of ideology on my channel and push out content that is sort of slamming black women into the garbage. Now, I can fairly say, hey, we have these problems in the community. Men have to take the reins of leadership, as you've been saying. But I feel that my content is a counter to that, because you'll have guys on panels, Max, and you've seen this, and they'll blur out things about the black community, right? But they give no history, they give no context, they give no data, they give you no frame of reference for why things got like that. So when you say that, well, black women are in this condition or black men are in this condition, you can't just say that without giving their context to that, because these things didn't just happen by accident, right? So that's where you have to be the counter to that. And this is the unfortunate part about this, and this is why what you said is important. Unfortunately, when you are the counter brother, you're not going to get the type of following that these individuals will get, because their content is a shock jock content. Your content is based in facts, numbers, figures, history, and experience, and people tend to gravitate towards shock jock stuff. That's why people like Howard Stern, people like that, are so popular, because people because people like shock jock stuff. They like stuff that's over the top. They don't want to be bored with the facts. And that's why you will never see yourself with a chat room filled with those many people, because these guys, they are entertaining to a point, but they're shocking, and they're basically feeding guys who have low self-esteem about themselves as it relates to women. They're feeding their low self-esteem, and then they're putting the batteries in their back and charging them up, and they're saying F all women or F all black women, and then they're using a white man's narrative, and they'll get on their channels and tell you go date white women, but yet check this out, Max, the MGTOW movement was primarily, they'll tell you that a black man started being MGTOW, but in terms of mainstream, it was primarily created by white men who weren't happy with white women. So if white women are so much better than black women, why did white men go MGTOW? And then you got Negroes on YouTube telling you to go get you a Becky, when even the white man is getting tired of his Becky. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. So we're using a white man's narrative to define a black man's reality. That's bull. That's crazy. I'll stop right there.
Well, all of this stuff is white talking points. It's all about what the numbers they read from the CBC. They regurgitate white talking points. They use a book called The Daughters of the Trade to say that black women have this so-called fictional, what is it? Not matriarchy, that they're somehow holding black men back in. They're complaining that black women won't let them lead, black women won't let them do this. They just simply won't get up and do anything for themselves. They're afraid of everything. They have an excuse for everything. And all they do is point fingers. I don't understand how anybody is listening to these people. I just don't get it. They produce nothing. They have no real accolades, no real works for anyone. I don't see any of these guys' works. They keep claiming that they've done all these things. Where are these works? I haven't even heard of these guys or know these guys' names because I came on social media. If you were that guy, we would know of you. I don't know these guys. Where are they works?
Well, Max, brother, once again, I think YouTube has become a big giant barbershop. In a way, it's become a barbershop for all of us. But there are some people in their barbershop who reinforce whatever the problems that they bring. So these guys who don't show you their wares or they don't this and that, it's because they don't have anything to show. Look, for example, when I came in the scene, everybody was talking about get a passport. I got a passport. Everybody was saying, okay, leave the matrix, right? Go and get you a foreign woman, right? Okay, if that's true, if these Negroes are doing that, then why are they continuing to be on the YouTube streets constantly talking about the problems of the black community and the black woman? If you got your passport and you believe in the doctrine of leaving the matrix and getting you a different woman somewhere else, and if you've done that successfully with your passport, then what do you have to complain about if those other women are better?
Well, the foreign women don't want them either. We have our own pharmacist here on the panel, Ebony. She's from Africa. She currently lives in Ghana. And you should hear what she says about these guys. The foreign women don't want them either.
Well, look, Max, I said this to O'Shea Duke Jackson on his show. I said this, and I've never been able to get a good answer from anybody within this sector. And that is, if the women in other countries that these brothers meet, that they say treat them more better than American black women or women in general, if they're so much better, then my question is, why haven't the men, like for example in Brazil, why haven't the men in Brazil, and I've got family in Brazil, why haven't the men in Brazil married these women up? That black men who go over to these places say, oh, these women treat me like a king. Oh, you got to come over here and get these women. Why haven't those women been married up? And I know for a fact in Brazilian culture, it's a culture in which you get married. And the problem is that when you go over to these countries and you don't really know the language that well, how do you not know that the woman that you're connecting with, she could be considered in their culture the thought of their culture, and that's why she's not married up by Brazilian men, because they know that that woman is a thought in their culture. And I said to O'Shea, why are those women not married up if they're so great? And he said, that's a good question. Nobody can answer that question for me. Because you don't know the culture. Those women could be the thoughts of that culture, and that's why they're not married. Because in that culture, and they get married, man.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
that's why I don't believe. That's why I don't believe any of them. Because I've been overseas too, and a lot of these guys, a lot of these women that these guys are talking to are prostitutes. A lot of them are prostitutes. They're over there paying bar fines and paying girls on the side to sit with them, talk with them. No girls will do anything. They're impoverished over there. And like you said, they've been ousted from their own family, because a lot of these foreign people have strong family traditions, especially Asians. Okay, yeah. And so you find a woman out there in the street, there's a very, very, very good chance that she's been ousted by her family.
Brother Black, do you remember let me just show you how, see, this is the thing. Other cultures may treat their women a certain way, but they're not going to let you come in and treat their women, a foreign man come in and treat their women a certain way. This is why we got to protect our women. Now, for example, the basketball player. You remember the basketball player in China? He's playing for China. There was a basketball player by the name of what is this guy? Ty Lane or something like that. Well, anyway, he was in the NBA at one point in time. He went over to China and he signed up with a Chinese basketball team over there. Well, guess what? He went to some club and he took pictures and he put it on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. And he was trying to slut out a Asian girl, had her all bend over. And guess what happened to him? The Chinese government said they said, that's it for you. You're out of here. The team cut him from the team. They said, you're no longer playing basketball in China. Get the hell out of here. You may slut your women out like that, but we're not going to let you slut our women out. Now, what that said to me, as Negroes made a big deal out of it, you know, oh, why they gonna do that to him? Why the Chinese? We know the Chinese have racism, but this is the thing. This is the thing I respected about them is that they're not going to let you treat their women any kind of way, even if they have a low view of their women.
Right.
They're not
That's
gonna
right.
they're not gonna let you low brow them. And my thinking is that that's right. That shows you what manhood is all about right there.
That's
Why
right.
is it that we as black men will allow other men to disrespect our women? Matter of fact, we'll disrespect our women in some cases, and we'll be fine with that. But other foreign countries, they won't let you do that. This man lost his basketball career in China over just some picture with a Chinese girl was trying to slut her out.
All right. Well, it comes down to one just old-fashioned thing. And people can try to put a lot of articulation to it if they want. They can put heavy intellectualism to it if they want. But it's just one old-fashioned thing. These guys are scared. They are afraid. They are too cowardly. And that's what it comes down to. You can talk to you blue in the face, but it's not going to change. Just like I said before on my podcast, there is no talking your way out of this. If you're going to change the situation for yourself and your people, you are going to have to fight this beast. You are not beating him any other way.
Well,
and to fight him, it takes courage, something they don't have.
Well, Black, as I get ready to peel off the panel, though, brother, I was saying earlier, because when I came on, I was prefacing this conversation towards you in particular. I believe that the only way we can change the narrative for our future as black men, as black women, as a family, is that we have to spend a little bit more time focusing on our youth. So if you're a grandfather or uncle, whatever, we gotta we have to teach them before they get themselves in a situation where they're listening to someone who's giving them poor advice.
Yes. That was my concern with the numbers that they have in their chat. Those are young brothers in those chats, bro. I've heard them. They're in their 20, 24, anywhere between 22 to 24. I'm extremely concerned with that because that is our future.
Yeah, that is I have to say that is definitely concerning.
Yes.
Look, would you agree with me that when you're young, you can be a little dumb, and sometimes
of course
you can have, like, the way I used to think when I was in my 20s is nowhere how I think now, and there was a lot of dumb beliefs that I might have had at one point in time about women or just anything in life, and I maybe I'm being a little naive here. Maybe some of these young brothers will grow out of that ideology, and then some of them won't, but maybe there's a percentage of them that will wake up through experience, because as much, all of us know this, that experience is the biggest teacher. Not some chump talking to you on some social media. Your experiences teach you a lot more. And then people who actually have had tangible experiences. But this is the problem. This younger generation is completely conditioned culturally to believe everything that they hear on social media when it comes to people who speak to their insecurities. Would you agree or disagree?
I would agree. I would agree to a large extent. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot, because there's too much trauma bonding that go on this internet, and it's not just YouTube, social media too. I see that a lot, and it is very troubling. But I also like to think that it's coming from the environment that they are in as well. I mean, these groups. It's really a symptom of the bigger problem. We have a lot of broken men out here online they're not even online. They're out here right now, and Water seeks its own level. I mean, that's what it is. So if they're listening to a lot of these guys, pretty much they had that mindset already. It was already developed. They're just voicing it, and they found a kindred spirit, if you will. And I mean, it's tragic. When I first came on this channel, I was very sympathetic to those guys because I could have easily been one of those guys. But life taught me better. But I think that these guys, like Information Man says, I think they will grow out of it, but it's going to be hard because this society does not encourage black men to be,
I disagree. Men. I disagree about the growing out. This is embedded programming. This will be embedded in their minds until they become old men if we don't do anything about it now.
Well,
this is a special kind of programming that's going on. Go ahead, Info.
Yeah. No, I was but that's my point, brother Max, is that there'll be some that could grow out of it because of what that, like I said, life is the experience, and they may be willing to hear a different point of view. You just said yourself, brother, that it has to change by another narrative or someone else showing them something different. Well, that's exactly what I mean. There will be some that will wake up and realize I'm following the wrong doctrine here. This is not going to really get me anywhere long term. And this is the biggest lesson of life. This is keep it real. A lot of these guys who claim, let's just keep it real right now. A lot of these guys who claim to be red pill, claim to be alpha, they're talking all this stuff on social media. Outside, when they get off social media, they're doing sometimes everything that the doctrine of red pill says don't do. So when they're so you gotta keep in mind, some of these guys are putting up fronts when it comes to, well, this is how I talk to my womans, and these dudes. If you had a camera and you could follow some of them around, you'll probably be surprised of what they're doing, which is why you've got you've got this back and forth going on right now within this sector, with guys fighting over a young lady who does not show herself. Right, everyone's in love with an avatar.
Oh,
okay.
Lord,
no. And I'm bringing it up for a reason, to show you that if a lot of these guys were really living the lifestyle that they can preach to you and they can regurgitate from their favorite YouTuber, if they really were living that lifestyle, they would not be getting caught up with someone that they've only seen the avatar. And they've never seen the real, and they never really seen the real person and had a real heart-to-heart conversation with a person that they can really see.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think she's British or something like that.
I don't want to get into the details of it, but I'm saying a lot of if you are a red pillar and you're all these things that you're saying that you are, then you would not get yourself caught up in situations with someone that you've never seen before.
Literally going to fight over a person they never seen, never touched.
Right.
Oh, God.
Common sense would tell you, and common sense is not very common, that you don't put yourself out there for any female or any female in that sense that you've never seen in person. You don't really know them. You don't even know if they are who they say they are, even where they really live. That just doesn't make any sense. So if you're really a red pillar, then you would not be caught up in a situation, because you would have a red pill mentality that says don't worship women, don't put them above you, don't run around spending money on them, giving them Cash App and Super Chat when you've never seen them, you've never been in there, and you never have even had any sexual relations with them whatsoever, right? But if you're doing all of those things, and that means that you're not a true red pillar. So what is this? Is this just a something to do while you're online, to put on this mask? Because a lot of us sometimes we wear a mask, masking who we really are, just to save face for everybody. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, somebody said it, and it's crude, but these guys are just one blowjob away from being back in loving women again. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, just think about it. They talk about these women so much. You got you. They just one blowjob away. I bet you they'd be back. Most of them. Now, some of them,
Right.
yeah, they out of there. They like those white incels.
But
There's nothing you could do for those dudes.
But
Just nothing.
the reality is, as you get older and you mature, let's just keep it real. Nobody wants to grow old by themselves. So even the most staunch guy who says, "Oh, I don't care about women. I'm gonna get myself together and I'm gonna do my thing and not put women on any kind of pedestal whatsoever." And I get that. I think a man should build himself up. I think you should not put anybody above you but God, your family, your wife, a woman that you're married to, committed to in that way. However, a lot of these guys that talk like that, eventually these guys are going to get older and they're going to be like, you know what? I really don't want to be alone. Looking at because at the end of the day, who wants to grow old by yourself looking at the goddamn four walls?
Yeah, I mean, I say this, when I look at the end. I don't look at the now. I look at the end. When I
Okay.
hear some of these guys talk about it, some of these females too, talking about, oh, I don't need no man, I don't need no woman, and all that kind of goofy stuff. I said, okay, well, look at the end. I've seen the end. I've seen what happens when you have that ideology. You know what happens? You end up dead in a box,
Right.
and somebody
Right.
throw you away. That's what
Right.
happens.
Right.
And
And
and,
and, and you know
and
what, brother, too? I'm gonna ask you this question.
yeah,
Did God set our biology? For those of you who believe in God, did God set our biology up in a way that we are solitary creatures? Because think about how nature is set up. Even animals, birds, and even the bugs that crawl on the floor, they have a mate. So God did not create any living thing to be completely solitary. That's not in our DNA biology makeup. Would you say that true or not?
yeah, I would agree with that. I think that if anything else, I mean, your biology forces you to mate with somebody. Um, so this whole
Wait. What
notion,
do you mean? What do you mean by that?
You're
uh,
asking me that question, or you asking Brother Speak?
I'm asking. I didn't hear the question because I had bounced off.
Okay,
You said your biology. Yeah, go ahead.
question I was saying is, when we talk about MGTOW, men going their own way, or we have brothers that are talking about, well, I don't need a woman. I don't need no woman. I can do my own thing. And I was saying that, yeah, it's important for a man to build himself up, get himself together. And I feel like you don't put any woman on any pedestal other than the woman that you're married to, your children, your family, as a family man. But my argument is that eventually, as you get older, you don't want to be by yourself. You don't want to be looking at the four corner walls aging by yourself alone, because God did not create our biology. He didn't put us on the earth to be solitary creatures. And I was saying that even when you look at birds and animals and you look at the ants and the bugs on the ground, even the bugs have a mating process. Even the bugs don't want to be by themselves. So we're
Right.
not built to be solitary creatures. It's in our biology to want to procreate, build families, and to have a companion. If a bug needs a companion, then what the hell are you talking about?
Oh yeah. I'm with you 100% on that. But I'm confused as to what Bro Speak was saying, that your
Okay.
biology forces you to be with somebody. What do you mean by that?
well, I was saying that, biology does lead you to want to procreate. That's what I was trying to get at.
Oh, okay. I
Now,
thought you.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's what I was talking about, not the
Oh,
whole.
okay. Oh, okay.
oh, okay. I thought you. Oh, okay. That sounded kind of. It sounded weird a little bit. You said, all right. You said, okay.
Yeah,
All right, yeah.
I gotta choose my words better sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, we got to focus on the youth. I'm working on some things with gen culture and different things that I want to try to do to combat this pimp culture, because I believe that the pimp culture is destroying the minds of a lot of young boys. I mentor boys in my spare time. A lot of them are reading these Mac books, written by these pimps, and it's destroying their minds. It's destroying how they view women. It teaches them to objectify women, to berate women, devalue the life of women, and that's not a healthy mind for a young man to have.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm working on combating that. Getting ready to do a huge show coming up soon that I'm working on about pimp culture and how it's really hurting black men, young black men. And a pimp is somebody that should never be glorified in our communities. He's the bad guy.
So that's actually another example of influence, that you have the pimp culture that is which is the whole red pillar, this whole issue, this alpha male stuff. It's a byproduct of the pimp culture, because pimp has been around for centuries, right?
Absolutely.
So when these guys are putting labels, and I believe that people put labels on themselves, like it's almost like if you're stinky and you don't take a shower, so you put cologne on to kind of douse your funkiness, but you're still stinky in a suit, but with some cologne on you. So people use these labels to make themselves feel good about themselves, when in fact they really don't internally. So they use labels to say, well, I'm a red pill, and all of this stuff is a byproduct, is what you're talking about, of pimp culture that has been repackaged today, and it's called having game. It's called being a red pill.
That's right.
But it really comes out of pimp culture.
That's right. And they put out these books that do absolutely nothing for black society except ruining it. And they're ruining the minds of young boys. These boys, they don't think right. I had to stop a couple of young brothers that I was mentoring, the way they address women, keep calling them hoes. You don't address a woman like that. Yeah. And the thing about it is, of the older brothers who know better, like you said, we have to take more of an active role and start correcting these young men. Listen, young man, that's not the way you address a lady. You don't address a lady with the word hoe. But pimp culture in these Mac books teaches them that it's okay to talk to a woman like that, amongst other degrading things. It teaches them how to womanize women, abuse women, and devalue the lives of women. And that's not the mentality that we want our young boys to have. You give them that kind of mentality, and they're growing to be young men, you're just asking for troubles. You're talking about creating monsters. Monsters that are symptoms of what our society has become. So, pimp culture is a blight on black society. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the reason why pimp culture continues to maintain itself, because the bigger agenda has always been, as everybody knows this, that the bigger agenda has been to destroy the black community. So when you look at all you got to do is look at the old, what do you call it? Godfather movies. Remember they said, Brother Max, put the drugs and the dope and everything in the black community. Sell it to the moolies. Don't sell it in our community. So you had other groups who said, don't sell it in our community, but put it in the black community. So there's been a long, outstanding history of trying to destroy our community, and pimp culture is a part of it. And so you have to ask yourself this. Why is it that YouTube allows channels to thrive who put out these narratives like this? Why do they allow them? Because they want to promote and push the worst of our community, the worst of us. Promote that.
Yes.
And any kind of channel where you're trying to wake people up, your channel will be, and I know this for a fact, your channel will be marginalized. people won't get your notifications. All
That's
sort
right.
of goofy stuff happens to your channel
Yep.
because they don't want your counter message to change the narrative from the bullshit that they're allowing other channels to put out, and they make sure that those channels get all their notifications. That's why they get a lot of people. Make sure all those notifications go out, and you're wondering what the hell's going on with your notifications. You have to look at what type of channel do you have. Is your channel a threat to the agenda of the bigger picture in this system? So
Right.
I'll leave you brothers with that. I'm going to get off the panel. Max.
Info, before you go.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this. You're pretty much from my generation. I'm 53. I think you're like, what, a year old, younger than I am? Or 2 years younger than me?
I'm 51, so you got me about 2 years.
Okay. So we pretty much come from the same era. You know, we come out of that Black Panther, Black Power. You know, black people were prideful of being black. And there was a better quality of black people back then. You ever thought that, right? You ever thought that you would see something like this from black men?
Well,
I never.
Earlier, before you left, when you left the panel, I had said that when I first came into the scene, you heard me say this, and I got on these panels, and I heard things that brothers were saying. It was like it was a culture shock for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I had never, the black men that I had spent time with in school and growing up in my community,
right,
and the black men in my family, because I have a huge family back east in Baltimore. The black men in my family, they don't talk like this. So I never heard such what do you call it? Self-defeated talk. Well, the black woman's got her foot on my back. I can't do anything. Man, what are you talking about? You can't do anything. You're supposed to be the man, right? Exactly. And I noticed when you try to counter their argument, check this out, Max, you've been there before. You try to counter their argument, and you got everybody on the panel jumping on you like hyenas, right?
Yeah.
Chewing on meat. So now you try to counter the argument, and you got every dude trying to jump on you to try to stop what you're saying, because now you're saying something that's too real that they don't want to deal with, right? And so it took me a while when I got on YouTube, man, to get used to that talk. I'm not used to it, what I'm saying, to realize what it is, but I know what it is. It don't represent how I grew up.
No, it doesn't.
Now I can understand brothers' frustration when it comes to dealing with with women in general. I understand some of the frustrations, but I never thought that I would see a situation where you take those frustrations and you sort of blankly say that all women or all black women are this way, as if you know every black woman in the world. It's a term for it. You take the minimum, you make it the maximum. You take the maximum and you make it the minimum. So if you got a majority of good black women out there, you minimize them. If you got a small number of black women that are, doing some ratchet stuff, you maximize that as if it's the majority. You get what I'm saying? Right. I get it. So, but thanks a lot, brothers, for letting me come on and shoot the breeze with y'all about this. Take care, and everybody.
See you later.
Appreciate you, bro. All right, bro.
No problem, man. Great program you got going here. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man. We trying. Yeah, bro. Speak. Like I said, I don't know how old you are, but info comes from my era, man. But I still don't even know what kind of Negroes are these. I ain't never seen black men like this, man. I come from the men that I was raised by, they were hard. My father was a hard country boy from Savannah, Georgia. He wasn't trying to hear nothing. He would build if he needed something and he ain't had the money to buy it, he'd go build it. I seen my pops and his boys get together and got an old car halfway decent out of the junkyard and rebuild the engine and then turned it into a car and drove it around. That's the kind of men that were back then, man. They would build things in the community. I remember one time my mother wanted a chest of drawer, right? But the kind she wanted, the furniture store didn't sell it. Well, my pops got, together with some of his carpenter friends, and they built them one. Men were on point back then. I don't know about this stuff. I don't even know what kind of Negroes. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of Negroes. I ain't never seen dudes like this before.
Well, Max, unfortunately, I have. I be around them a lot. Unfortunately, so that's why when I said that these groups are a symptom of the problem that we have in our society. That's why I say that because I've heard not so much some of these talking points that the manosphere have,
Mhm.
but I've heard stuff that sounds similar. And I know dudes who ate work crap. My family is filled with them. So, you know, I I've seen guys who are like you, Max, but I've also seen guys who are like some of these guys in the manosphere. So,
Okay, so you're like, okay, so your generation is kind of like in between this one and me and Info's generation.
right,
Like,
I'm
okay, yeah. So you
yeah,
would be exposed to it, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I've been exposed to a lot of.
Right.
I've
Uh-huh.
seen a lot of guys that it's like, why are you even allowed to have a female? But they have a female with them,
Yeah,
and it's like, dang. And then and you just see it get worse and worse and worse and worse. I'm like that whole thing with the that black guy who hit the girl with the skateboard. When I
yeah. That was
first heard
crazy.
that, when I heard that story, the first thing I said, "Oh, that was a white guy," because I could see a white guy doing something that insane.
Mhm.
But to hear it was a black guy,
Yeah, that's
that
crazy.
that blew my mind. I mean, I've seen black guys kill their mothers, their fathers, even their own children. And to me, I, I can't fathom you want. I I can't fathom wanting to kill your own mother. I can't do it. As much as disagreements I've had with my mother before she passed, I I could never see myself calling her any types of names. I could never see myself wanting to hurt her. I couldn't see myself doing it. But to hear guys say that now, I I get um the reasoning, but it just it's like I get like you. I'm like I can't. It just to hear it boggles my mind, and it hurts my soul. It really does. I mean,
Yeah,
it's I that
yeah. I've seen these guys call their own mother bitches and stuff. I would never say that to my mother. Never.
right.
Yeah.
That just never wouldn't even come out my mouth. I
Yeah.
just and I see guys doing it. I'm like, when I was little, you couldn't say that to your mother, not without a backhand. She will give you the backhand, then your dad will give you the backhand, or uncle, or somebody's gonna get you're gonna get a backhand one way or the other.
See, see,
Now,
my thing. See, my thing
now
is
it's
to
like
see it. Right.
it's
See, my
it's praised.
see, my thing is right. What kind of man are you now? See, I'm looking at the men in this generation, right? The men in my generation had integrity, right? They wouldn't just let things continue to happen. So if you see this pimp culture is corroding and corrupting the minds of our young boys, you don't glorify it. You do something to get rid of it. That's what a man of integrity would do. I'm starting to see brothers embrace it and find other ways to push it. Like you got some fool right now running around on YouTube with makeup talking about he's a dating coach pushing pimp culture. He even talking about he wrote a book. You got some other fool who claimed to be the biggest dating coach on YouTube. Keep calling women hoes and strags. You see, these are the type of things that destroy our women. A pimp is a destroyer of women. He defiles the womb. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
Yeah,
men This is why pimps were outlawed for a long time. Back in the days, right? They couldn't just go into a neighborhood.
No.
They would get shot or they would get ran out of the neighborhood because the men back then understood what type of man this was. That this man was a danger to their women and little girls. Okay? An extreme danger. Now, you got black men embracing pimp culture. You got black men thinking pimp culture is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys dress like drag queens and wearing curls like girls, and they humiliate women. Okay, I was looking at one dude that they all aspire to be like, a guy named Iceberg Slim. And one of his books, he said that he almost beat one of his women to death with a coat hanger because she didn't get out there and sell her vagina and brought back some adequate money to where he can run around like some she-male dressed in mink furs and stuff that women should wear, high heel boots and mascara and curls, roller curls in his hair. And so he nearly beat her to death. Okay. Excuse me. In my community, if a man would have did that in my community back when we was growing up, he probably wouldn't be alive because the men would have stepped to him. And that's the problem that we have here. The men are too cowardly to do anything. Like I said, you can put whatever articulation to it you want. You can put whatever intellectualism you want, any kind of science, deep thinking, whatever you want to do. But it's going to come down to one old-fashioned thing. These guys are cowards. No matter how you say it, fancy rhetoric and all, it comes back down to one thing. They are cowards. And they are too cowardly to do anything about what's going on in their community. They are afraid of conflict, which is what a man is supposed to be built for. We are men. Our essential nature is strength. We are built for conflict. These guys are built for cowardice. And that's why the environments are absolutely corrupted.
Yeah, I mean, because like you said, most guys are just here to get along, get along. It's not those type of men will either they died off, got killed, put in prison. They were broken. And there's not enough of them to go around, and there's not enough support of them to make a difference. I think that it comes back to if the guys want change, first they gotta change themselves. That's the first thing, and stop. That biggest thing is their penis. A lot of these dudes will control that penis. I mean, shoot, a lot of things will change. But here's the thing about that pimp culture. Why it's so attractive. It's because a lot of the girls are over there. Now, say what you want about the women, but if you're a guy that's didn't have how do I say much success with women, and then you see this guy, however he looking, I mean, you can make an argument he dressed like a drag queen, but if he got all these chicks over there, you know, he's gonna gravitate to that. I mean, because it's a show of power. A lot of these guys are powerless, you know, and you see somebody who has this supposed control over women. I think it's fake as fuck, but that's just me. Because I mean, I always look at the end. Look. Name one successful pimp who stayed in that culture and is doing well right now. I mean, just name one.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I fell off, but I did hear what you said about pimp culture and the girls. But let me tell you why the women are over there. They're over there because the men glorify pimp culture. That's why they're over there. I don't know how to say this. I'm going to keep saying this until men start to understand. You are a girl magnet. You are a woman magnet. To a woman, a man is ultra magnetic. Whatever you do, she is going to follow.
Right.
She's following you. Okay? So we are glorifying pimp culture. We're making it cool to be a pimp. We're making it cool to be a piece of shit. We're making it cool to be womanizers. That's why they're over there. Because as far as they're concerned, that's where their action is, because the men are over there. Now, if the men were over there doing this, running these pimps out of the community, denouncing pimp culture, and setting standards that this will not be allowed in the community, guess what? Men wouldn't be over there. Because they will understand that this is not something that is conducive to a healthy environment, and that the leaders in the community will not stand for it. So they will make an adjustment, and they won't be over there. They are over there because the men are over there telling them that it's okay.
Yeah, you bogged out a bit, but
that is why they're over there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like, and the men over there, they think it's cool. They're showing that it's cool. They're showing that they have some type of power. So the women gonna go over
I mean,
there
for crying out, right? Listen, look how many pimp movies we got for crying.
Yeah, it's way too many.
Okay, you got the Mac, right? How many brothers? Right. Yeah, how many brothers are running around here talking about, oh, the Mac was the shit. Goldie was the man. Goldie was a homosexual, but Goldie was the man. Okay, and then you got Superfly. Yeah. You got Bishop Don Juan and Fluky Stokes and Fillmore Slim, Iceberg Slim. These guys are making documentaries talking about, man, these guys were cool, man. These were the men I looked up to in the neighborhood.
I'm like, okay, but don't you see the ending of them?
Right. He had some fool that come on my panel talking about, well, pimps taught me some good shit. See, when you say these types of things and you're glorifying these types of things, the women are going to think that's where their action is, because that's where you are. You're not saying anything's wrong about pimp culture, so they don't think anything of it. You're over there. If it was bad, then why are you over there?
Oh, man. Somebody actually came on your panel and said that the
pimp some fool come up here talking about, yeah.
Dang, man, that's a dude that's lost, man. I can't.
But you see, but we have to understand that we are the greatest examples for our women and our children. It is our leadership that is essential to how the people in our environment develop. If you have poor leadership, then that will ultimately result in a poor environment. Poor environments become corrupted, and they produce corrupted people and depraved minds. There's no getting away from this. We can sit up here and go round and around and around. I'm going to point everything right back to black men. And I'm going to be right about it.
Yep. I mean, I've tried to debate you on it.
Yeah.
But the more I hear, the more I see. I'm more in line with your way of thinking.
Yeah. We are our own worst enemy, and we don't even want to acknowledge it. We are destroying, and then on top of that, we are destroying our only support base. The black woman is our only support. We don't have no support after that. I'm telling you right now, we don't have no support after the black woman. You get rid of her, you done. I guarantee you, you won't last. Go on and get rid of her if you want to. I guarantee you, you'll be finished. There ain't no support out. There's no support out there for us outside of the black woman. You think the foreign women gonna support you? No. They men gonna come get them. They're gonna let you die out. Those men ain't stupid. They're gonna come get their women.
Yep. And send them to someone else.
Yeah. They're gonna tell their women. They're gonna tell their women to stay away from you. You dying out. Because you did something foolish as to destroy your own support system. Look at what happened to the Chinese, right? But they caught themselves. They almost destroyed their entire race by getting rid of their support system, by saying that they wanted more men than women in the society. Well, how did that work out? It almost destroyed their entire race. They caught it just in time. And they still having trouble. The women still outnumber the men over there. It's getting better, but the women are still, but the men still out. You can't have a successful race where the men outnumber the women. The women must outnumber the men. If the men outnumber the women, you're going to die out.
Now, let me. Now, do you? I would think also that would cause a lot of war if there's more men than women.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're killing yourself one time. I just said it. If the men outnumber the women, you are going to die out. You will destroy yourself because there's not enough women. Now they caught it. That's why you see them frantically marrying black African women. They're trying to preserve their race. For all of their intelligence and how they're supposed to be so smart, they did something extremely dumb. But they caught it. And now they're doing whatever they can to try to fix whoever made that dumbass decision. Now, black men are in the midst of making the same dumbass decision. You are trying to destroy your support base. Without the black woman, I don't know how to tell you this, you are finished. There is nobody coming to your rescue. There is no other support out there. Mei-Ling ain't going to support you. Becky ain't going to support you. Definitely. You have no other support system outside of the black woman. You get rid of her, you get rid of yourself. You're done. And you can go your own way, all right? You're going to go your own way right into oblivion. Come on, y'all. We MGTOW. We going our own way. Well, where are we going? We're going to hell. Can I get in the front? Can I get in the front? Can I ride in the front? Because that's where you're going. You ain't going anywhere else.
Yeah, that is, well,
every woman, every race of woman is the support base for their men. That's why that's why naturally the women outnumber the men. The women are the support base. They keep the race going. Now, only these dumbass Negroes run around here talking about, oh, you don't need no woman. There ain't no value to black women. And this is some foolish shit like that. Some old dumbass nigga talking about something. Well, black women have no value. Keep listening to that shit. And you're going to disappear like a mirage.
Yep. we'll, we'll, well, I would say no, we won't find you, but you'll be somebody will find you. It always seem to happen. So yeah, but let me. I'm gonna have to get off of here,
Okay, man.
and thanks for having me on. Thanks
Oh, you my
to
man's, bro. Speak, man. You know I got a lot. You know I got a lot of respect for you, brother. You know what I'm saying? You're my man's.
yeah, like I said, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody here.
Hmm.
And
You know,
like
you're the only one that can come up here and go round and round with me. You know what I'm saying? And hang out and hang tough. And yeah, I got a lot of respect for you for that, man.
it comes from being in prison. I've had so many.
Yeah.
Shoot, look, you are not even the worst of the shit that I go through
Mhm.
and the mindsets that I have to go through. You are pretty tame, so
Mhm.
I'm used to it, man. But
I
anyway,
appreciate
let
it.
me get out of here, and y'all
All
have
right,
a
bro.
good night and
All right, man.
peace, everybody.
All right, man. Peace. Be good, bro.
All right.
All right. Where are my ladies at? Ladies.
Yeah. Hey, we are here, Mas.
Okay. Abby. So, Abby,
Yes, Mas.
throw that beautiful accent on us. Tell me what you've been hearing. Give me your thoughts on what you've been hearing so far.
Oh, I came there because I was asleep, so I did
Uh
not even
huh.
know the start.
Were you listening to the show? Um, did you hear some of the stuff we were talking about just now?
Yeah, for now, I just listened to the show.
Hmm. Where is Dame? Dame, you there? Dame. I think she may have fell asleep.
Yeah.
I gotta
Okay.
wake her up because I gotta get her to end the show. But
Yeah.
she'll come alive in a few minutes. Where my brother
Oh.
Razi at? I seen Razi in the chat. Razi, how come you ain't came up here, man? Great show, man. Good night, man. I didn't expect shout out to Information Man for coming up,
How?
blessing us with his presence. Uh, what happened?
Yeah. Nothing.
Damon, you there? Oh boy. Hey Abby, do me a favor. Abby,
Yes, Mas.
do me a
Okay.
favor. Talk to the people for a few minutes. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. As we start everything about black men and black women, black men, black women and black men, we are creating the love in between black men and the women. We shouldn't do discrimination and say, hey, it's the women's fault for everything. That's not true. We should respect our women more. We should have much love for our women, and that will make our children will be saved. Yeah, we should not do that because black men have been selling out the women too much, and that's not helping us. We should not do that as a black people. Yeah, because if you come to Africa, we love ourselves, we love our men, and even our men also love us. So we are creating the same way to our brothers and sisters in America.
Okay. All right. So, oh, okay. Okay. More women are
Yeah,
choosing husband just to have a mate. Oh, okay. You're back out now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about
So,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a good show. Thank you,
So,
highly favored. You know, I just want y'all to know when I come on, I always speak from my heart. That's why I never prepare for a show. I just speak what's in my heart. You know, and you know, it's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, and hey, Abby, hey, do me a favor, mute her.
Okay.
What's going on back there? Yeah, so you know, people, can y'all hear me or my boy again?
No, I can hear you fine.
we can hear you. You are fine.
Yeah, so you know, I'm really unpredictable when I come on here, and Dame will tell you, right? I
Yeah.
don't even know what I'm about to say. I just come on here and I just feel it. I always speak from my heart. Yeah, that's why I'm so passionate.
Yeah.
And you know, it's time to change the narrative. You know, fighting against this crap because it is crap. You know, it is crap. And we started to get other brothers to join in, and I'm really happy about that. You know, we still got some brothers who are leaning towards the man of squares or whatever, but we're going to keep pushing until we build up a coalition of brothers who think like us, and now we have more soldiers to fight against this negative shit that they try to push towards black women.
Yeah.
Where Razi at? Razi, I saw Razi down in the chat.
Yeah, because they see that now we are saying the good things to protect our women. Yeah, so we want to have the good people also.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We still small, but we're growing. Keep supporting us, people. We're gonna grow. We're gonna grow. We're gonna get bigger. You know. Support us here at the E Nation. Patreon. Donations is fine too. We're gonna get bigger. We're gonna make this message even more powerful. Keep supporting. Keep helping us grow.
Yeah.
Share the content. Let's get our subscriber base up because we got a lot of work to do, black people. We got a lot of work to do to help fix our communities, change the mind of our young boys, and put out real good content that's going to combat and ultimately destroy this negative content. We're looking to wipe this negative content out completely. And we can't do that alone. We're going to need everybody. We're going to need all your support. So spread the word. Let everybody know that we got some brothers and sisters who are willing to take on this fight. But we're not going to just stand by and let these bullies bully our women and leave them out there unprotected.
Right.
Yeah, Dan.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, cause we got enough messed up men as it is. We can't have them influence the younger people. Taking their anger and trying to build it into something more to keep them, turning them away from black women and stuff like that is hard enough, you know. Then it's not going to be any black women because black people because the younger ones they're not, at least as far as the young girls I'm seeing, they're not interested in dating, which is but they keep saying, oh no, we're just friends, or they run into that attitude, and it puts them off, and so they like, okay, they're not into me, I'm not into them. And
if they spend less,
there's not gonna be any black people in a couple of generations.
and like I said, they seem to be convinced that they got a support system outside of the black women. You don't, sir. You don't. Understand, there is no support system for the black man outside of the black woman. I'm not sure where you guys are getting that from. These foreign women are not going to support you. They are not your women. And the foreign men are going to come and get them. They're going to block them from supporting you. So you go on and try to destroy your support base all you want, and I guarantee you, you will seal your own fate. You will cease to exist. Because nobody is coming to your rescue. And the other foreign men will not sit back and allow their women to support you. The black woman is our support base. Without her, we're finished.
Yeah, so yeah, we need the voices to counter. The young men are we need men to show the young men what it means to be men. Need to teach them how to fix things, fix the community, teach them how to build.
Well, yeah, but before we get there, we got to teach them basics too first, right? A lot of these young men don't even know how to address a woman. If you can't address a woman properly, to me, that's problematic. If you can't address her properly, then you can't have a proper conversation with her, so that she may take interest in who you are. Because you'll never get to a conversation because you don't know how to address her. Instead of intriguing her so where she may look further into who you are, you're actually repulsing her. You're running her away. You're pushing her away because you don't know how to address her. So we got to get the basics together first before we can even start to build healthy thoughts towards women so they can have good and strong relationships with women. And when you look at who they're following, I'm not surprised that they don't know how to talk to women, because the men that they're following don't know how to address women properly either. That's very important, fellas. You sit up here and you poo-poo that, right? That's why you don't have any women, because you can't even do something as basic as address a woman properly. And y'all think it's funny. Women don't like being called out of their name. They don't like that. You think they enjoy being called? You think women enjoy being called hoes, strags, bitches, cunts, and all this other stuff? No, they don't like that. That's not the way you address a woman. That's not going to get you a date or anything else. So we got to clean that up. That's basic. We got to clean up basic shit first.
Okay. So, Gent Culture 101.
Gent Culture 101 is coming. Gent Culture is coming. Now, I'm pretty sure some people are going to try to steal it. But understand, y'all, if my Gent Culture is copied, remember, it originated here. I'm not going to stop talking about it because somebody stole it. Yeah, but but we got to clean this shit up.
Yeah. All right,
everybody. Let's shut it down. Dan, get the music ready.
Ready.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming out. This was a very interesting podcast. We came up here for shits and giggles, but it turned out to be a very serious podcast. Thanks to the Information Man showing up. Thanks for Bro Speak coming up on the panel. And thanks to all of you who are supporting us here at the E Nation and the Ebony Star Network. Keep giving us that support because we're growing. Keep growing. That support is hard to make a difference. Okay? So we'll see you on our next podcast, probably tomorrow. All right? All right, everybody.
Son,
Peace, power, and unity.
out there getting cream for the 9 bro. Yeah, and I've been doing this for a long time. You know, shoot the game, going for mine. Alright. And this is the year for Maggie. Let's get real. I'ma spark this line, kick the real. Bang 'em out. With all this chaos in the realms of the street, your local street dog got to make ends meet. The average Joe's far too slow for the ghetto pro. You better know, when I hit the streets, I like flow, I like to glisten. And at the same time, stay low, listen, motherfucker, the fame. Why I'm pursuing the dope. My stilo is symbolic to a kilo. Cash is popping, coke is cooking, beats is copping. Ain't that some shit? A player that's used to living rich is now a sticky kid. Caught up in a ditch. In 94, Giuliani kicked down the door. In 95, niggas flip to stay alive. Peeling caps while I laugh. In the stats, the phone and a half. Remy in the glass, spark the boom, then I blast. They wanna confine me, sneak up from behind me. Bust a cap in my back and put me where they can't find me. They hate to see a young player pay. I don't wanna see that. They rather see it spray. But I'm like Diddy, a Terminator, squeeze the lead off. Using verbs and nouns like rounds to blow your head off. Hitting up spots, heating up blocks. Investing in stocks like Colombian blow crops. I'm out to get cream and ain't no doubt in my mind. Fuck this broke shit, I'm hit, I get down for mine. I get down for mine. I get down for this. I get down for hands on the regular. Shit, hands on the head. I get down for mine. I get down for this. I get down for hands on the head. I get down for mine. I get down for this. I hear you wanna be a player. I ain't someplace you bet. Let's play a game of real nigga roulette. With this a DOA as I spray the melee. Content and punctuation is compared to AK. You in a game, overdose for pure funk. I'm fucking off like Tommy Gibb. For karma's a boot smoke. Decapitated rappers in my trunk. I'm sick, pumping skunk, bouncing with my click, popping mega jump. I'm getting bent while these clowns be zigzagging. Once you talk about flipping keys, come on, you're nickel bagging. I'm blasting off wings and making doubters believe it. You see, I was packing heaters when jokers was banging cheerleaders. Ain't nothing changed, it's still the same in the rap game. I'm known for banging rookies out the frame. Y'all done forgot who was the pimp from the start. Sipping vintage wine, eating a la carte. I'm phenomenal from the abdominal. Far from comical, lyrics are sticking the brains like particles. Never sleep. I'm bringing the drama to the street with techniques and rolling in bleach. Ain't nothing sweet about the street, so I'm poetically ill. I'm pure like cook up and lyrics shine like fish scale. I got the banger at your throat and you ain't showing no signs. K-Dep, let them know I get down for mine. I get down for mine. I get down for hands in the air. I get down for mine. I get down for hands on the regular. Shake it, baby, no fear. I get down for mine. I get down for this. I get down for hands on the air. I get down for